welcome to Warcraft Reloaded, a podcast brought to you by Mash Those Buttons, covering World of Warcraft Classic and its community. I am Bobby, also known as Blazin' Bob, and as always, I'm joined by Mel, aka Melarina. How you doing?
Hi. Good.
Good.
Still recovering, but I'm here.
Yep. And also recovering, we have next Winky. Welcome back to the show.
Howdy doody, neighbor.
Howdy doody.
Howdy
And
doody.
last, and certainly not least, we have Crix. Welcome back to the show, brother.
Hello, my friend. How are you doing?
I'm doing wonderful, thank you.
Fucking love you guys.
I love you too.
Thanks for
man.
having me back.
Oh, you.
Appreciate it. I've missed you. It's been a whole 4 days since I've seen you.
Love tonight. I know,
Yeah,
man.
it has
feels
been
like
only
a
4
millennium.
days, hasn't it? Yeah.
More than 4 days. 1, 2, 3,
No,
4.
it's
Yeah,
been like
Tuesday.
a week. It's been a week.
Tuesday.
It's Saturday, right?
Tuesday.
We were there
Hey!
Saturday.
Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Yeah.
That's when I got back. So you're right. It's been like 5, 6 days.
Yeah, it's been like 5 or 6 days. Yeah.
Hey, you're right. Hey, you're right. You're right. You're right. You're right.
Whatever.
It still feels like forever because anybody who didn't check out the last episode, we were all hanging out at TwitchCon.
Is that
It was a
episode
wild
up, ready
time.
to go?
It is up, and the
Oh,
plays
yeah, I need to
actually
watch
weren't
that.
bad.
I need to watch that. I really do. Did you edit all the planes out and all that stuff?
Well, we didn't start pausing until later. I did edit those out when we would just
Mhm.
pause. But honestly, you can hear right through the plane because of the
Nice.
quality of the mics. Like you could totally
Okay,
hear
if
the
you-
plane, but you could hear exactly what anybody says during it, which is
If you're
great.
listening right now and you haven't seen last episode or the episode where we did in real life, that was probably one of the coolest things I think I've done like in a long time. And it was by far like my highlight of TwitchCon was like the vibe in the house during that podcast was sick,
It was great.
right?
It was a lot of fun.
Crix was live, Desi was live. They were getting different POVs of the house. We're all playing Magic the Gathering and drinking beer. And then you go out on the balcony and it's just like anyone can step in and out of the Warcraft
Yep.
Reloaded podcast in real life. Just sit down, grab a mic and start talking. It was so cool.
We did
My favorite was
something.
Grace coming in.
Yeah.
We started asking Grace questions. He was like, I just came out for a ruling on my Magic game.
Yeah.
And,
We're
then
like,
you
well,
made
you're
us
here
sit down
now.
here.
Yeah. Honestly,
did-
that's the dream of like the content I want to create in the future is like, or at least I want to be part of, right? Is
Yeah.
things in real life like that, like where it's just kind of like very similar to like dare I say like OTK, like Loot Goblins episodes, like IRL content with people from the space that we were already in, right? Like
Mhm.
Well,
it's so
it's-
fun.
We did something kind of like that for the Overwatch League. The Overwatch League Stage 1 finals of Season 1. We went out to Burbank. There was a bar called the Guild Hall, and it was a streamer bar, like where they just show streams on all the TVs, and it's where all the people
Dope.
from the league would go after the stuff. And so we did an episode that was just like that at the bar where people just hopped in. But unfortunately, that was when we were only audio for Overwatch League recap. So there was no video. And I think the video made it really neat too. So anybody who was an audio listener, I would say check it out on YouTube because it was pretty cool.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's sick. I was gonna ask you guys as well because I know that you got your your roots are in Overwatch. Are you guys planning to do any Overwatch 2 content, or is it just kind of like all WoW from here on out?
I can't really make
Mm.
double content because, I mean, the Overwatch League for sure not. Because I mean, that was the hardest podcast I ever did because I had to watch every game to actually know what I was talking about. And
True.
no way I'm doing that again. Like that was a lot. But the podcast I was on prior just talked about Overwatch. Like if Ja brought back Watchpoint Radio and did all the work and I just had to come on and talk about it, I probably would. But as far as
Nice,
producing, I'm sticking to just the one podcast. But all right, guys, this is how the episode's gonna go. We're gonna start out. First, I'd like to remind everybody we stream the show live on Twitch, twitch.tv/BlazinBob. I want to remind everybody we are now partnered with Rested XP. If you use any of their services, please use coupon code RELOADED to save 5% and help support us. I'd like to thank our tank Patreon, and that is Thick Lizzie. Thank you so much for your support. We're going to go through some voicemails. Then we have one new review. We're talking about what we've been doing in WoW lately, or maybe we'll move that to the end. I don't know. But then we got some news in there, and then at the end we're going to talk about the launch, and then talk about the DPS rankings that have come out, and kind of go over that a little bit, and that'll be the show. So, With that being said, I'm going to play these voicemails real quick, and I'm going to play two at one time because one person called in, and then they called it again with a more concise question, the same question, but I don't know which one he wants me to play, but I think he sent one in each week because he thought I missed it or something, but no, I was just at TwitchCon, but I'm going to play them both, so check it out.
Hey, Mel and Bob. First of all, thank you so much for producing this consistently great podcast. It really adds a lot of value to the whole community. So thank you. And as a member of that community, I feel like I just need to say, Blizzard, please give us RDF. It is just ridiculous that you've taken away something that so many people have wanted from this part of the game. I mean, goodness, last week, Scotty J was on the show, and he was asking, like, oh, maybe, 1 weekend a month they can just put it in. That is bargaining. We are actually going through the 5 stages of grief over this subject. So anyway, I just wanted to keep it brief because I know we've all beat this horse into a red pulp, but yes.
So I'm going to play the next one, but just quick clarification. That idea was Classic Go in chat's idea. So the one weekend a month thing was his idea. Just wanted to throw that out there.
Hey, Mel and Bob. I'll do my best to keep this brief because this topic has gotten plenty of airtime already. But Blizzard, please reconsider adding in Random Dungeon Finder. Every poll I've seen online across Twitch, YouTube, and Reddit has shown that most players want it included. Plus you two, and I think every guest you've had on the show as well. And speaking of which, 2 weeks ago when Scotty J said he wishes, he asked developer Chris Zerhut if they would consider adding RDF in one time just to try it out, maybe only for the weekend. That's called bargaining. This community is going through the 5 stages of grief over losing RDF. So I think we all know there's a very good chance Blizzard's going to add it in later and say, well, it wasn't originally supposed to be added until ICC anyway. But we've heard your feedback, everyone, so here it is. Haha. But all I'm asking is that comes a little sooner rather than later. That's it. Anyway, that's about it. Shout out to Blind on Angerforge, and may the Q gods be kind to you all.
I don't know if they're going to add it in, to be honest. I feel like they're ready to die on this hill.
Wait. Can I comment on that last statement? He said, shout out to Blind on Angerforge.
Hmm?
I thought that Blind members would be against Random Dungeon Finder.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they're that's what C-Dank says many times. They're not against min-maxing. They're
just against learning the fights.
Yeah, learning the fights prior.
Yeah, but if they did Random Dungeon Finder, wouldn't they inevitably
be breaking
with people that knew the fight?
Yeah, I guess the rules only apply to raid, right?
Wow.
So this might just be one of those things where it's the public ideology of Blind and some of the negative feedback that we've seen on Reddit and especially the Discord servers. Is just kind of maybe permeating in my brain a little bit. Maybe I need to think about what I'm saying.
Did you say negative feedback on Reddit? I feel like that's not a thing.
Yeah, no one's ever got negative feedback on Reddit. But no, maybe I'm just. This is a clear example of me just being a normal human being and going with the flow, and it just shows how easily influenced people are, right?
Fair.
I could have sworn Blind would be against that, but that's just me making assumptions that I shouldn't be making. I'm gut checking myself right now.
That's why people ask me, they're like, you're for Random Dungeon Finder, but against Raid Finder. And I'm against Raid Finder because it's an easier raid. And I think raiding is the top end of the game, and you should have to go out and find a way to do that.
I'd be okay with Raid Finder though, if Raid Finder didn't nerf the bosses.
Have you guys
it was just you could just use a raid finder.
Current LFR thing or whatever it's called in game.
I do.
Have you used it for 10 mins and stuff?
I have. Yep.
I have no problem with it.
I have no problem with it, but I can tell you, I'm
no problem
fishing.
finding groups. I mean, obviously, they're not the best groups.
Yeah.
But
I can tell you, I've had no problems with it since Wrath launched. And pre-patch, there was a lot of problems with it, but once Wrath came out, I've been using it all the time, no problem at all. But I'm fishing right now in game during this podcast. If there was RDF, I would be healing dungeons right now, right? It's just it's that next level of making it more accessible. That's keeping me from doing dungeons every day, right? Like I would log in and I would love to do a world tour every day, just queue up random, like over and over and over, but I can't do that. So
yeah, the effort's a little higher, right?
It's a little higher, but I mean, honestly, dude. And so I've, made groups as a tank. That's easy as pie. Basically, I just turn it on, DPS request. I click yes. If it's the same class, I just kick them. Like, I mean, I'm kind of a jerk there, but then,
hey, you go first. I'll piggyback off this. I got a good one.
Yeah, it's just like if I invite a paladin first and then another paladin pops in, I just kick him because I know people don't want to come in and try and super compete for loot. So I'm just like, I just make sure to take one of every class. And then on my DPS rogue, I just see the groups. I right click, say request invite, quickly type rogue DPS to the leader. I copy that so that I can just paste it to the next. I just do that until somebody invites me, and it takes
somebody finally invites the rogue.
It takes like 60 to 90 seconds to get in a run. I mean, it's been easy as pie for me to use. Yeah, you do have to refresh it, but like, I mean, it's not been bad, to be honest. Like, it's not, but it's definitely, I'd definitely be doing more dungeons if there was RDF, but I can't really complain. It's not been bad at all. It's definitely better than looking at like LFG bulletin board.
The only thing that's annoying about it is you'll go queue and it'll say searching forever or whatever. And when it does, like, it just won't load. You just reload.
You have to do, /.
You just reload your UI. Yeah, you just reload UI and then it fixes it. I missed the whole, because I've only been to play a few days since launch, and I missed the whole like guild doing 10-mans and guild doing all the war tour runs. Now the whole guild's 2-3 characters deep, and I'm over here trying to fucking figure out how to do world tours on my main. And I use that. I just press I, and it takes a minute to find some people, and then I go. And then if I have a group, like, you just put in the info, like world tour, starting world tour, or the world tour minus this or whatever. Right. I don't do Oculus. I hate Oculus. So I do like world tour minus Oculus. And then you fill for that. And then obviously you might have some bad people, but like you said, I'll replace them. If it's like 1 dungeon, 2 dungeons, and this guy's getting hard carried, unless it's a warrior, because I feel bad for warriors, but you just, I'm talking big hard carried. Like, he's under the tank every time. Like, he's not even playing the game. Then I'll like, okay, you got to go get somebody else.
So here's a hot take. Possibly, it might be lukewarm, maybe even cold. I think, Crix, your experience using Dungeon Finder is going to be different because you're coming from a place of content creator privilege. People see the name Crix and they go, "Oh, that guy's a good DPS. I'll invite him." Like, they just know. And you can't say it's not true, because I've been in battlegrounds with you before where people are like, "Oh, it's Crix. It's the real Crix." Like, that's like, it's. I think that you literally have a different experience than the Joe Schmo that queues up as a warlock, right?
While true, I start the group though. I just form the group myself. I say world tour, and then I look for the tanks, and I see what they need, and I invite that tank, and I tell them that we're doing a world tour or whatever. But you are right. You are definitely right.
That's. I don't know why it never gets old to me. Like, I go and like, I might be able to get through at a Wrathy Basin or like a 15-man BG, but if I go to Alterac Valley, 1 or 2 tells every time. Love the podcast. Yep. And I love you guys. Keep sending it. It never gets old. I appreciate it so much.
It's only ever happened to me a few times, and it's never been old. I remember on pre-patch on Fresh, Sky Fury Fresh, I was leveling my priest, and I was like, "Fuck, I really want a wand, but like nobody has a wand right now because nobody has linen. We can't get tags on any mobs." And this rogue runs up to me and just, not even in the guild, right? This rogue just runs up to me, trades me a fiery wand that a Murloc dropped for him. And then he whispers me and he's like, "Hey man, sick content, love the stream. All right, loot, deuces." And I was like, did I just get like streamer loot? Let's go.
Which I've been missing.
Yeah, like, this is sick, right?
Like lots
I'll never
of people,
forget you, Rogue.
lots of people will know you and not say anything, you know, like, and like you'll find out after the run, you know, they'll like say something, but like it is a little weird. Like it's weird also when people start sending you stuff. Like I'll be at a GDKP and people are sending me stuff. I'm like, wait, do I know this person? And then I'm like, oh, they're a podcast listener. They're just okay. It's weird, but yeah,
it's sick.
It's cool. It's always cool.
We are saying that in the most humble way ever, right? It's like I think when you let things like that get to your head is when it's cringe, right?
Oh,
but like if you're humbly and you're like, damn, this is so cool. Like people like care about because we put a lot of work into content, you guys, and I put much less than everyone else that is on this call. Less work into it, but like it's cool when your work gets a little bit of recognition and people are excited. It makes us excited that you're excited.
Yeah, it's cool because you have like coming from a YouTube perspective. I make YouTube videos as well, and like you always get those people in the comments, which it literally does not bug me. Like I will flame them back, but you just deal with that, or like you Reddit, or you know, Twitter, whatever you deal with, where you
don't read Reddit.
You're in this thing where you have content creators that don't look at comments, they don't look at Discord, they don't look at Reddit, they don't care. I post my stuff. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. And then there's people like me who like, I learn from the comments. Yeah, there's gonna be a lot of troll ones, but you actually learn some things where it can make your future content better, or just like hearting people's shit and saying thank you or whatever, you know. Dude, it makes them feel good, it makes you feel good. And then
it'll dis like, okay, so I've had many Reddit things where they'll talk some shit and I'll ask them, well, hey, which parts exactly did you think was bad? Like, and exactly. What can I do to improve it? And they're like instantly, oh, well, that comment, I was having a bad day. It came off wrong. I actually just meant this here. Maybe you could do this. You do learn from it, right?
My favorite are the responses of, it's 3 hours. I didn't watch it. Like, why are you commenting?
Right?
Not here.
And on those, I'm just like, dude, podcasts aren't for everybody. Like, they're for people that have a lot of time at work, you know, driving cars, delivering mail, things of that nature.
One thing that I've been trying to get better at is like, because I'm also like a long form kind of person. Like you know me, Bob, I love my fucking podcast too. Like I'm a podcast Andy. I prefer, this is the content that I like to make. I don't necessarily like streaming as much as I do like planning podcasts, doing events, doing, you know, like, you know, casting things in general. Right. So the one thing I've always wanted to do is take a podcast like Warcraft Reloaded, break up individual tangents and topics into like short form 5-minute, 10-minute videos, or even YouTube shorts, like 30-second, 1-minute hot takes, right? And you can plaster those on the internet, and people will consume that at a much higher rate, right? Like
I'm working on it. It's a slow burn, but Scotty J's been on me to do that too. He actually made a couple examples for me, put it on his channel, which was really nice. And so I'm trying to put aside some time to do that, but. We've been tangenting. We need to do the next email.
Yeah, sorry, my bad.
Voicemail. So the next voicemail is.
Hey guys, love the podcast. Enjoy listening to it while I'm cutting grass. Just waiting to get home to play. Just wanted to share a funny story. So my guild attempted to do 10-man Naxx the other night. On
you already know the punchline.
Raid, and we were on the first spider boss, and we were struggling with it for like 45 minutes, man. And we're like, man, you know, we thought this was going to be easy. Turns out we were set to 25 man. So just a shout out to everybody. Oh, no. Make sure that you're always set to the right raid. Appreciate you guys. Love listening. Keep it moving. God bless.
Well, shout out to them making it to the boss in 25 minutes.
For real.
The raids might be so easy where you might have done that a couple more pools. You know what I'm talking about?
Dude, some people
about their 18 manning Naxx right now or some shit.
Some people have gotten a few bosses in. Like there's been a bunch of people that have made this mistake. It's hilarious.
Oh, wow.
I've always done the opposite where you like enter a dungeon and it's not on the harder mode. Like it's not on heroic, right? Like but I've never done the reverse where you start on heroic.
9 times out of 10, if I started the group, that's on normal when we enter that dungeon.
Every time we entered, we like started killing mobs. This is the first heroic we had ever done. And we entered, we started killing mobs. We were like, ha, that was really easy. And I was like, I don't think it's on heroic. Bob's like, oh, man, okay.
The worst is when nobody notices it for like a half the run.
Yeah.
And you're like, wait a minute, it was in TVC. You're like, wait a minute, I just noticed I wasn't getting any badges.
Yep. Or you kill the last boss and an epic doesn't drop.
Yeah.
Like, oh, no way.
That was our practice run. We're gonna go do it again real now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
Fine.
yeah, definitely check that. It's been pretty funny. There's been a lot of people who have done it. But people have done it on stream. Like it's pretty funny. So if you guys want to send in your own voicemail, the number is 816-866-1066. Sorry, it's free if you have a cell phone throughout the United States, but it's not outside of the country. We're still working on something for that. But thank you guys. Mel, we had a review. You want to do that real quick?
Mm-hmm. From Butch Deadle 1 Foot. Yep. That's who it's from. 5 stars. Perfect background to play to. It's the perfect thing to listen to while grinding monsters in queue times. Helps to pass the time in the frozen North Rend. I like it. Thank you.
I like it too. Thank you so much. That we haven't had an iTunes review in a bit. It's been like a month, so that definitely helps. I know you guys on Spotify leave stars and can't leave an actual review. We appreciate the stars. We've got a ton there, so we appreciate it so much. All right, guys. So I can't decide. Like usually we do what have we been doing in WoW lately, but should we save that for the end when we talk about the launch, or should we just?
Oh man,
yeah.
This could be a long episode, Bob.
Yeah, no.
We have a lot of things. We have raids, we have launch, we have TwitchCon, we have everything.
Yeah.
Well, let's use this spot to talk about TwitchCon, and then we'll talk about what we've been doing in WoW when we get to like our thoughts on launch in the discussion at the end. Does that sound good?
Yeah, sure.
All right. Well, I mean, you started us off at TwitchCon. You want to start us off on the TwitchCon talk?
I mean,
it was
yeah,
wild.
Sure, I can. I think the first thing I'd want to say about TwitchCon as a whole is I got back from TwitchCon. I had no idea that we were in a sphere while we were at TwitchCon of like content creator, boomer, WoW homies, right? We were all just hanging out, having a great time. But I got back and I found out that there was actually quite a bit of like controversy on Twitter and Reddit and in Twitch chat over what was happening at TwitchCon that none of us were aware of while we were there.
Oh, no shit.
So I think like the first thing I would want to say is like for anyone that is like interested in like Twitch culture, Twitch community stuff, there was a streamer by the name of, I think it's Adriana Chechik. She used to be an adult actress, and she jumped into the foam pit at TwitchCon and broke her back in like 3 places and like had to get like bolted.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Wait, we knew about this. You didn't know about that?
I didn't even know about that.
Oh,
dude.
shit.
I was on margaritas after margaritas. I was walking around having a good time.
We do.
Another thing that was interesting about TwitchCon was like that I found interesting about the overall experience is like at first there was gonna be like no COVID policy at all. Like you just go to the con. And then there was an email that went out that said everyone now has to be vaccinated, everyone has to wear a mask, et cetera, because of the feedback that they received. When you got to TwitchCon,
nothing.
Even the staff weren't wearing masks.
Right.
Like not a single person was wearing masks when I was there.
To be fair, you did have to get the band, so you had to prove you either took a negative test within 3 days or you were fully vaccinated. Yeah. So you had to use that app, and and you showed that with your license, and then you got your band.
You had to have a mask to walk in the door.
Yeah, once you got in, everyone
looks like this. It looks like this. Oh, thank you. Put that in my pocket.
Yeah, when we went to when I was at the Twitch partner party, I did not see a single mask the entire time in the entire party. Right, the staff wasn't wearing masks. The security had masks on, but they were pulled down like under their chin. Right, so like
the South.
I'm just gonna say, if you were a community member that was mad about masks at TwitchCon and you spoke out about it, that's okay. But why weren't you wearing them? That's all I have to say on it. I don't want to get like political or anything like that. It's just like, I mean, I don't know if this was like a response to like the vocal minority, right? That they even required them to begin with. But even the fact that I was actually very disappointed that like even the Twitch staff weren't wearing masks at all.
I mean, it was like half and half, though. I thought
I was disappointed that they made a ruling and they didn't stand by it. You know what I mean? Like that's
You're
I
mad
couldn't
they made
care.
a rule and didn't abide by it. Shut the fuck up, bro.
Yeah,
I'm glad I didn't have to wear a mask the whole time I was there. I'll be the guy who says it. I did not
don't
wear
care
a
at
mask the
all.
whole time.
I don't care at all about the mask at all. I just hate the fact that they backpedaled on a ruling.
Make you abide by it.
They backpedaled it. They backpedaled on their ruling to appeal to the vocal minority of Reddit posters, right? And then they just negated the whole thing to begin with. So it's
I
like
thought the Reddit people were getting mad that they weren't going to abide. They weren't going to do the rule at first, and then they made the rule.
Yeah, they made the rule to appeal
mad.
to the Reddit people, and then they didn't even follow the rule that they made.
I think that's perfect. I think they make a rule to appeal people, and then they let people do whatever they want.
True.
That's how it should be. If you want to wear a mask, if you don't want to wear a mask, it's on you. If we got COVID from not wearing a mask, then that's our fault. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
There was one time that I did get told to put a mask on.
I got told twice, and I put it on and then took it right back off.
I went like this. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, we had to have one to walk in the front door, and then everyone just took them right back off. But regardless, I mean, it was.
Side note: if you're like super COVID-y, we're not trying to disrespect your COVID rules. If you like masks, rock those masks. But we're just talking about how they were there. Yeah.
Just a tip from someone who goes to lots of cons and never gets the con cred, never gets sick. If you're out, don't touch your eyes, nose, ears, mouth, face. Do not rub your eyes. Try to open doors with your, like the sides of your arm. Fist bump people rather than shake their hand, and wash your hands constantly. Like that's the best way hygiene. To not get sick. Yeah. So
as a constant like Smash Bros. Fucking it's like a meme. The Smash Bros. Tournament, like the rot that you get at a Smash Bros. Tournament is insane. So like that, like airborne every day. Like every day when you wake up, before you go to the con, just always pop it airborne in water, drink it. And there were quite a few people especially in the no pixel community, from the Grand Theft Auto meetups that I was going to. A lot of those people came back with COVID. A lot of them, like 70-80% of them did.
Well,
I tested myself. I wasn't, thank God.
Yeah, hopefully that, like, because it's really bad for people with certain health problems. But I had it once and I was still drinking it every night. So it just depends on the person, like.
Yeah. I mean, and you should always.
Sorry for him.
I'm gonna be the person that says just stay within your comfort zone, right? Like if you're not comfortable doing something, don't do it. But also don't hate on other people that are comfortable doing things. You know what I mean? Like
I let people do them, man. You do you, I'll do me. That's the way I feel about it.
That's the way I even say it in WoW when people are like, yo, Wiki, how's your Priebus looking? I'm like, yo, worry about your own character, bro. I'm fine. Like, yeah, I'll be at raid. I'll be ready to go. Don't worry about Abide was giving us a lot of crap before TwitchCon. Like, yo, I can't believe you guys are even going to TwitchCon. We have so much to do before raid. And I'm like, bro, it's not that big of a deal.
Imagine not going to TwitchCon for that raid and being back home now like, well, I guess I've got to do my 10-man Naxx.
Exactly, right? Yeah.
Okay.
So worry about you. I'll worry about me. Everything's good, right?
Yeah, that's what my guild master said. He's like, I was like, man, I'm sad I'm gonna miss this with you guys. He's like, you're gonna have a different type of fun.
Oh yeah, and like don't get it twisted at all. Every single person on this call right now on this podcast was at TwitchCon in person, cheersing, beers together, having a good time and enjoying meeting each other in real life. And every single one of us at one point during the con were like, damn, I want to go home and play WoW. Like it's just we all wanted, we were all thirsting for that Wrath content, but
the adrenaline from the con definitely overpowered it. But we were definitely, and we all thought we were gonna play. Remember, I told you that no one was gonna play at the house, and you were like, "Dude, they're gonna have laptops set up." I was like, "Dude, you ain't playing, man. I'm telling you, you ain't playing." Like you guys played, a little bit of Magic, but like that's a time to bond with friends, not chat.
Yeah. We had a really good
Crix,
time,
though.
But so that was like the general overview of like the TwitchCon drama that I've seen is like the COVID stuff plus the breaking of people's bones. Someone else like broke their ankle in that same foam pit, and there's like a bunch of stuff that happened.
There was 8 reported
they didn't
injuries.
shut it down until midway through the last day.
Yeah, they didn't shut it down for. I don't know why they wouldn't shut it down, right? Yeah. But regardless, I mean, like I just wanted to touch on those larger like drama topics because that's all I really knew about them. But for my individual experience at TwitchCon was amazing. Like I had the time of my life. and I'm glad that I went.
Yeah. I mean, the people.
What about you, Crix?
The people are what made it.
I had so much fun. It's actually crazy. I dream about it still. In terms of the raid, I was really excited for the raid. I did raid down there, raided from San Diego in like a internet cafe or something to do the Naxx race. And then I didn't touch. And when I say, when we said everybody wanted to play WoW, I don't think anybody wanted to play as bad. I was absolutely fiending. Every my guild has 380s. I'm working on my second one. They're all geared up. I'm just over here just like, sorry guys, I had to take 10 days off or whatever it was. It was so worth it because, it was super worth it.
Yeah.
How
did you guys feel about meeting each other in real life?
It was dope.
Yeah, I thought it was great.
This is my third time, I think, meeting a group of friends I met in game, a different group each time. This is definitely the most fun because it was at TwitchCon and everything. So I get excited whenever I get to meet people that I talk to all the time.
I was telling people in my chat the other day, like it felt like we were all friends from like college or something. Like they had known each other for years.
Yep.
And like there was not a single awkward moment. There was no shake Bob's hand. Hey, Bob, it's me, Winky. Haha. What do we do with our hands? Right. It was just like straight up, like giving each other hugs and like it was literally like we knew each other from like old days and we were meeting back up, like it was crazy.
It's crazy because there literally was no awkwardness.
Yeah.
There was like 17 people total. Even like with Bosco, for instance, like not everybody knew Bosco, and he was just fit right into the fucking fold, just slid on in there, hugging him like he was hella cool. And that's for anybody who was new that was there. But we had people stream sniping us and coming up like they were just into the fold all of a sudden and just hanging out. And it was like
join the family.
And it's really crazy because I've met people. And it's hard. I'm not an awkward person ever. You guys know this, but you can kind of see what other people are. Other people are quiet or, just a little kind of standoffish. And it just was not a drop of that anywhere, which is crazy, right?
Bro, we got to the house. Remember when me and you got to the house, Crix? It was after raid, right? We drive out to the house the first time. This is a 3-story Airbnb, right? Me and Crix knock on the front door of this Airbnb and we hear shouting. We're like, are there any WoW gamers in this house? And there's a balcony and a window like above us, right? Tommy Salami pokes his head out the window and he's like, "Oi, mate!" And I was like, "It's Tommy." And then Duranosaur pokes his head over the balcony and he's like, "What's up?" And it was like the coolest shit ever. Like these people were just popping out of every little nook and cranny.
You remember the movie The Ring where that bitch was climbing out of the TV? That's what this reminded me of. It's like your favorite streamers just climbed out of the fucking computer chair.
Yeah.
And then slid on into your just front room like, "What's up?" And then you walk in and we're watching Gray's on the TV streaming. He's streaming into his Naxx. And then when he finally got down to where we were in person, and then we're watching another homie stream like Apricot or something like that. And then it was cool. It was definitely unbelievable. It was cool. I had way more fun than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, that first night, I caught up with you guys at that like hotel bar. It just happened to be a block and a half from our hotel, and we went in there. I'm saying hi to Wiki and Duranosaur. I'm getting ready to go meet Cargos in person for the first time at Crix, and then all of a sudden I just get picked up and swung around in the air, and I'm like, "Crix, what's up?"
I told everybody I was hugging them when they saw me. You're not getting away from it. I'm talking pick you off the ground, and I did it to everybody. I picked all of them off the ground. I don't care who you were, bro.
Crix met S-Fan and immediately gave him a hug, and S-Fan was like,
You know what?
And Crix was like, "It's happening, bro. It's happening. It's happening."
Just let it happen. Don't fight it, bro. Just take it. Take these arms. Take both of these arms around your body right now, bro. You're taking it.
Oh, I think the funniest thing is that it just didn't feel like it was the first time. Like there wasn't this like, "Oh, it's the first time we're meeting in person." Like it kind of sunk in later, right? It was just kind of like, "Hey, how are you?" Right? Like, and I don't know. It was strange, but it was a lot of fun.
And even people.
Go ahead.
I was just saying, even people that I was a little like, I don't know, man, because like Tactics always seems real serious on his stream. Right? I was like, is he going to be mean to me because I don't know as much as him? And he's such a cool guy. He's such a nice, chill dude, man. Yeah. This is great.
Yeah, everyone is. Yeah, hugging is dope. Because in a world where you don't hug anymore, bro, we're all internet people. Even in real life, like you hug your spouses and like your kids and whatnot. But like, I don't go out. That I'm not trolling. Besides my job I had a couple of years ago before streaming, my like construction, like remodeling homes and stuff. Besides that, like up until then, been a couple of years of this, probably a little bit over 2. Whenever COVID hit, whenever long ago that was. Time is one thing now, but I have not stood up that long. I have not walked that long. I have not wore a pair of shoes that long during those days because I wore flip flops and slides or like some loose Nikes. I had brought a brand new pair of shoes to go there, so they weren't broken in. They're just like,
that's the worst.
That's you don't get to hug. You don't get to do anything in real life. Who am I going to hug? My daughter's teacher or something like? There's no one to hug. You don't know anybody, right?
Yeah. So you got to buy the con shoes a month prior and break them in, or else.
Yeah, definitely.
How are you going to break them in? What are you going to do? Sit your computer?
Yeah, right.
Your computer and break them in.
I'm glad I brought a brand new pair of slides because I rocked those the entirety of the trip.
Yeah, my body paid the price from TwitchCon.
Oh yeah.
I think you know, I'm turning 31 here in like 13 days. I'm 28th, and I feel 31 right now, dude. Like it hit hard.
Yeah, dude. Old me was nothing. That first day we were going to pick up our badges, it was like from where you had to pick up your badge, you had to go get your COVID little bracelet first. That was like a good, if I had to put this in football fields, that was probably like 10 football fields away. It was long. It was far, bro. It was long. It was, I don't know how mile, I'm not good at that. It could have been 2 miles. It could have been 1. I don't know. But it was like at minimum 8 to, I didn't know you could do that. 8 to 9 football field lengths to get there. And it doesn't sound that bad. You're like, oh, I can do that. But it's still, I don't do shit. I walk to my mailbox or my car, and that's it. Leave my house once a week. I don't do anything. And so I was like, oh, I can do this. And we're running late. Because I had to do the Naxx race. So I'm running late. I had like 10 minutes to get the badge. So I just started sprinting, bro. And I just ran down there. And by the time I got that, I was like, there's no way. And the only thing that came from my I was like, damn, I wish I could hearth to the front of this building.
Yeah, right. I think at one point we were there. We were there at TwitchCon, and at one point I opened my phone and I saw that Crix had tweeted like, "I wish I could teleport in real life." Like literally, he just tweeted it out. Like, "I wish I could teleport."
I was just walking, and I was in my head. I was like, "Damn, I really wish I could teleport." I was like, "I'm tweeting this."
Yeah,
I wish I could teleport.
Have you guys been to? Have you been to TwitchCon before? That one was all your guys' first TwitchCon.
I've never gone to a convention before ever in my life. Besides like a roofing convention or some shit.
See, that was my first TwitchCon. We've been to many BlizzCons. We go to Planet Comic-Con, which is the largest convention in Kansas City here. We've been to cons in Colorado, in Texas, like lots of different Comic-Cons, because basically Comic-Cons aren't really Comic-Cons anymore. They're pop culture cons, you know, like movies, shows, games, everything. So we definitely like to go to those when we can, the ones that are close and stuff.
Dude, I've been to TwitchCon 2 times before this most recent one, and I can tell you like going to TwitchCon in the style and the fashion that we did, so like it was a different experience than any other time I've ever been to a Twitch. And it was also my first TwitchCon as a partner with Twitch. And it like there were parts of TwitchCon that straight up felt like a business trip, which was really, really cool. It kind of like opened my eyes to like wanting to get back into content and like go harder, you know, which is I kind of think that's like the goal of TwitchCon for people who like to stream. And then for people who don't like to stream, it's just meeting their favorite streamers or the community that they've been hanging out with for a long time. It was crazy. My Saturday, you guys, like I barely even saw all of you on Saturday. We met up Saturday night, just before like the little concert thing, because I was just literally in grind mode, like busy, like all day.
We saw you at the start of the day at the Blizzard Creators Party, and then we didn't see you until the Twitch party later that night.
Yeah, and thank you to Bob and Mel for plus wanting me into the creator party. Turns out they would have let me in anyway. The person at the door just said that they liked my mustache and they wrote my name on the list to begin with. But yeah, so that it was incredible, dude. Like Saturday was literal. I never felt like a more of like a business person in my whole life.
Day too. Yeah, I think Saturday is probably like one of the best days of my life.
Yeah, I mean, we started it with.
I like how we said like the day started with the lunch, which was at 11, and all of us were like 11 o'clock. What the fuck?
Yeah, we were like, was that early, dude? I went from like just that one day. It was like Blizzard lunch, right? Leave the lunch. I had to do a no pixel meetup with GTA. We did that. Then we did a no pixel photo shoot with GTA. Did that. Then I had a G Fuel meeting. Did that. G Fuel photo shoot. Did that. Then I was finally about to be done. Turns out Cloud9 invited me out to dinner, so I wouldn't have had meetings with Cloud9. Dude, it was insane. Geez. And then I finally got to walk around the convention floor, and CD Projekt Red interviewed me for like 30 minutes about The Witcher and Cyberpunk, and I was like, this is ridiculous, dude. Like, I'm not even, you guys realize I have like 30 viewers, right? Like I was just walking around like, you guys, I'm literally not a big content, like, why am I dealing with all of this right now? It was fucking crazy.
And Crix is just
but fun.
IRL streaming everywhere. Like,
I had no idea. I had no idea he was gonna do it.
Yeah, Crix was like, I mean, he was like, I mean, I can't do it for the audio listeners, but he was literally just running from thing to thing, and like it was hard to keep up with him. He was so excited about all the different stuff, and he's just running back and forth. But it was easy to
find him.
Yeah. We could always be like,
you look for the selfie stick.
Yeah, we'd be like, dude,
we just look at his stream.
Yeah,
true.
I was like, oh, E. All right, go to E. He's gonna E.
I did do that at one point. At one time, I did stream snipe to find you guys. I just opened Twitch and found Crix. Yeah, at the pub.
We would just be like, all right, well, we need to eat. We'll be like, Crix, we're gonna go eat. We'll snipe you back. That was our new. Yeah. That was our new.
And it was like 50-50. Sometimes he'd be like, well, I need to eat. Like, where are you going? Yeah. Oh, and we didn't find the bar until the last day. There was a bar at TwitchCon.
Yeah, it was on the second floor, wasn't it?
It was hidden.
Yeah.
It's the Kappa Cabana.
I know.
It was so cool. I would have been up there the whole time.
Dude, that's the weird thing. Every con I've ever been to has bars everywhere. Like, that's a huge revenue loss for them. I don't know if it was something with the
because our
convention
dumbasses
center
are spending $12 on a beer.
So every TwitchCon I've ever been to before this one, the bar is always like in an outdoor patio area. It's really nice. And that was where I would spend most of the con, is I would just go hang out in the bar and meet people and, stuff like that. But this, I never went to the bar. I could not find it.
Are TwitchCons always in San Diego?
No, they were in San Jose. They're in San Diego. Yeah, they move around.
Are they in Cali usually?
Yeah, they're in Cali. Just because Twitch headquarters is in Cali, so it's easy to move things to a California location. But they did just do the Amsterdam one, which is really cool. I kind of want to go to EU next year.
Yeah, next year I am too. Yeah.
So it was on the top, Winky, though. Like, it was on the top balcony.
Mm-hmm.
But just hidden back, and it was called Kappa Cabana.
Yeah, the Kappa Cabana needs to be like the central point, like the focal point of the convention,
signs or something.
Yeah, people need to funnel into it.
Somebody tell me where I can get a drink.
Well, not only that, but the entire convention center has all these escalators that go up, and like 90% of them were roped off.
Yeah,
like they didn't want you going up certain elevators, and it's like, well, why not? They all go to the same place.
That's
the amount of walking you had to do.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the walks that there's the partners and the not partners. I remember like one time, for the most part, if you they would just let us come with us if we're partnered. But one time I remember they had to walk around, and it was literally like, it was so far around. In my head, I'm like, what? Instead of just letting him cut through this little rope right here, it's like, what the hell? Just one. That's stupid that they did that.
Oh God.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was a little bit segregated. There's certain things only partners could get into, certain things only partners and affiliates could get into. You guys got a cool partner gift and a shirt. We got a affiliate gift. It was shoelaces and a pen. Yep. Got some cool shoelaces. Not as cool as your shirt, but almost there, right?
No, here.
Oh man, but yeah, it was Crix's streaming. I think was the best because he started out with this broken selfie stick, and it kept turning upside down and everything. And we're like, dude, you're gonna make your viewers sick. So he ordered a new one early
from your guys' hotel.
Saturday.
We're at their hotel drinking, and I was like, guys, we gotta wait here like 30 minutes. I'm Instacarting.
We were at my hotel
I walked
for
to
like
a couple
2
of
hours.
CVS's, called other places. Dude, there's no way that you're at a convention. They should sell those at the convention, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But I finally got one. I had to run down there and meet her out front. And it was game changer after that. It was nice. $16. Still got it.
Oh, yeah. And then the best
on the last day.
Yep. I was going to tell
What did you find out about your selfie stick, Crix?
That it has a tripod. And
the handle
I'm
can
over here
turn
trying to balance it in some weird way all the time on the tables, and apparently I had a fucking tripod this whole time.
Tripod. He could
I was so frustrated
the
about
handle
that.
could break into 3 parts and turn into a tripod. And
He thought he broke it. That's how he found it. He was like,
God.
"Oh no!" And he was like,
Bro, so
the-
sad, bro. It would have helped so much.
I have to say it, but like if you guys ever get the opportunity to partner on Twitch, which you will, 100%, right? Do it. Like
Yeah.
the partner lounge at TwitchCon is worth it. Like the cons, like all these people are walking around and stuff. And I had never been to a partner lounge before because I'd never been a partner before. So I walked up to this partner lounge. You enter it, it's got the sign, it's got security, it says partners only, yada yada yada.
Can't even stream in there and everything.
You can't stream in there at all. You walk in there and it's like classical music is playing. It smells like popcorn. they have people serving popcorn out of this like popcorn machine. There's a whole wall of just food that's free. You can just walk up and grab whatever you want to eat. You can go out back. There's like a private partner balcony where everyone's out there smoking or doing whatever, they're drinking their beers or whatever. It was insane.
I tried to sneak in with Sarth, Tactics, and Grays, and they stopped us. And Sarth looked like he genuinely looked like he felt really bad. Was like, "Oh, you okay? Well, we can." I was like, "No, you guys go. We'll catch up with you later." Like, but he looked like he felt so bad.
He probably
Sarth's a
did
nice
feel
guy.
so bad. Sarth's a very nice guy.
Sarth's way nicer
Sarth is
than-
also like 8 feet tall.
Oh, he's huge.
Yeah.
"Dude,
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
gonna go pee real quick
Yeah.
before we start. Or be right back.
That was the thing about meeting everyone in real life that was like the most shocking is like everyone's height, right?
yeah, 100%."
Yeah,
I remember
I thought you were small.
Bob was like, I thought you were tiny, Winky. And I'm like, dude, I'm 6'1". Like, what do you mean? Like,
Oh man.
Sarth is legitimately like 6'6". Like that dude is tall.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's
Tyrannosaurus
very
tall.
Tyrannosaurus tall. Most of us were tall.
Yeah.
Tommy was a
Only
little shorter.
Black Smoke was a very, very small guy.
Yeah,
Very
so I
cute.
cheated. I met only Black Smoke. They came to my house for a hardcore tournament to cast. So I had already met only Black Smoke. I had already known Cargos because he's like a neighbor of mine. Like we go out play Magic on Fridays, and then Tactics and Crix had flown into Cargos' house a few days early. So we all got to meet earlier. We went to the casino a few days before TwitchCon.
Well, and then we have to give a shout out to all the other people at the house that weren't creators that were a ton of fun too, like Mr. and Mrs. Sully. Like they were a blast. I'm going to say his name wrong.
Aluthrin.
Aluthrin.
People say Aluthran all the time.
Yeah, we had him. I had to save him one night because Crix left him at the bar, and he had no way to get back.
I remember that. It's like 2 a.m, and I'm like looking around. I'm like, did you guys leave Aluthrin at the bar?
Yeah, and Crix had left him at the bar.
Crix, we're
and
talking about a Lutheran.
so
at the bar.
I was just like,
Rip
all right,
Lutheran.
well, dude, just tell me where he's at, and I'll just call him a Uber to here, and I was just like, tell him not to move. The Uber's coming. It's a fucking Prius or whatever it was, and so he got a ride back, and then that's when I actually met him. Is when he got the ride back. I had met him just before, real quickly when we did the podcast earlier, but it was hilarious, and then. Lesamos.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And then
A lot of hardcore homies.
Yeah, the Lieutenant literally all
Labasco.
that entire day. It was just it was me, Cargos Grace for days, Murderer, and I forgot who the other one was.
And Murderer broke his
It was literally
hip.
us all.
Yeah, that was
day
kind of a
together that
bummer.
5.
of a part of the Friday night.
That sucked.
Very start of the
Yeah.
con. It was crazy.
No, it wasn't in the
because-
foam pit. He did not break his hip in
Yeah,
the foam
no,
pit.
so,
Before people say,
So we were on our way to the house, and the Uber driver told us, "Hey, there's been a lot of fights in this neighborhood. I'd be careful about going out too late around the neighborhood." So I get there, and Cargos is like, "Hey, we're gonna go walk to get some food." I was like, "Dude, my Uber driver told me there's been a lot of fights. At least take somebody with you. Here, I'll go with you." He's like, "No, you stay if you're not hungry." I was like, "All right, just make sure you take somebody with you." Of course, they got in a fight, and Murder got hurt. and fractured his leg. Cargo spent a ton of that night in the ER, and he just lost his whole con. I felt so bad. I got to meet him for like 5 minutes. I finally got the context,
by the way. I got the context of the fight, by the way. Murderer tackled the guy, and when Murderer hit the ground, it broke his hip.
Oh damn!
So it was like,
well, we don't even know what really was said or anything. But
oh yeah, I can't even fathom
drunk people doing drunk things.
Drunk people doing drunk things, exactly. There were probably some drugs involved in the guy outside 7-Eleven as well. So you know how it works. We've all been there.
The reason why you don't.
We've all broke our hip before.
In a foreign town, you don't.
Yeah, true.
You just, after the bars close, you get home. Like, you know, you get home. That's the best call.
Or you go to the after party wherever that's happening.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that's what we did.
Probably don't walk.
The after party was usually in Bob and Mel's room.
Right.
Say, the bar closed. Man. All right, cool. Mel's gonna go pour you a milk jug of vodka. Just
she's like, "Do you like it strong?" I'm like, "Yeah." She was okay, and she gives me it. I'm like,
Crix is making a horrible face right now.
What? Dude, that was the worst drink I've ever had in my life. I'm never gonna turn down free alcohol, and I handed that back to Mel, and I was like, I am not drinking this.
I've been planning. I ended my illustrious drinking career during that trip, and I planned it for about a year. I was almost quit drinking. I'm 32. It's just gonna cut off all alcohol out of my life. I'm gonna wait for TwitchCon though. I was like, I'm waiting for TwitchCon. There's no way I'm not gonna hang out with all these people I've never met and not get hammed. And that was the best weekend to do it because everybody kept me absolutely lit the entire time, especially Mel and Bob. The whole time, hey, you want a drink? Hey, you want a drink? Are you sure? I'll get it. You want a drink? I'll pay for it. You want a drink? Let's go back to the hotel, get a drink. And then we finally, that last night there, and we're all in the hotel, and I'm just chain shot. I'm just chain pouring him. And I was and then absolutely destroyed that night. And then woke up like, oh, that was a perfect last night
as well. I don't know about you guys. I may have been like the unique, special person in this situation, but like I spent like way less money than I thought I was going to spend.
Yeah. Oh, everybody was offering to pay for everything. Yeah, dude, especially these two. They were just like, oh, I got it.
Yeah.
Oh, I got it.
Dude, I got it. Half the bars that we ended up going to were like events for streamers and like had open bars until like 11 p.m. or like open bars until this time. So like I was just getting free drinks left and right. And then I would go back to the house and there's a 30 pack of Coors Light in the fridge. Yeah. Like it never ended. And then shout outs to Mel for being the badass that had the food because I hadn't eaten all day and I was drunk. I was drunk, right?
And we get back up to Mel's room. Yeah, this was Thursday night. She had the Easy Mac.
We get back to your guys' room and I'm like, dude, I haven't eaten all day. And then Mel's like, I've got Easy Mac in the cupboard. And drunk Winky's like, did you just say my favorite food of all time?
Dude, Winky and Crix, you both were like, what?
We demolished that Easy Mac.
That whole trip would not have been anywhere. It wouldn't have been half as good if you two weren't there, to be honest.
Yeah, 100%.
All three of you guys, my favorite people over there. It was
Bob and Mel.
You guys and the Solies, like I couldn't have. It was like if I go back in time and look at it, I would not imagine that it was Blaze and Bob, Mel, and the Solies that really fucking made that trip. It was all fun.
Yeah, you guys really did.
Because I'm married, we're all like married couples or something. I don't know what it was, but it was just like I think it was like seeing you guys and the Solies count. You guys have been together for a long time. I've been with my wife for 6 years. And I'm like, dude, are we talking out of this? And then seeing how you guys, both pairs of couples interact with each other, and it was inspiring. I was like, okay, maybe we're arguing is normal. You know what I mean?
Definitely is. Anybody who doesn't argue.
My wife watched a lot of that. When we were at the hotel at the end of TwitchCon, and we were sitting there, she watched like the whole thing.
Nice. Like
I hosted you. Like when I'm streaming in here, our PC in the bedroom, my wife just has it up during the day just to watch whatever. And then when I hosted you, it obviously went to the computer, and she's like, "Oh, I remember them from your. I like them." Yep. The one with the girl, right? I'm like, yeah.
We just, I mean, we do that at cons. I don't know what it is. We just have a good time, and we're looking to have a good time, and we're not, I don't know what it is, but
it's so much more fun though. Like when we go to the Kansas City Planet Comic-Con, right? It's just us. It's not nearly as fun as having so many people that you just feel so comfortable with, and you can go just like join any group at any time, right?
Like we meet a lot of new people.
Awesome.
Yeah, we meet a lot of new people at those cons, but nothing's like BlizzCon or this, and it's great because you have a home base, but you can split off and do your own thing and then come back to the group and then split off. Like, it just makes it really, really cool, man. And so, yeah, I've just had so much fun with you guys. I can't even.
Dude, we like, I can tell you, seeing people's personalities in real life, like, was a little different as well.
For days.
Graze is way different.
Graze was probably the only person. Graze is one of the main people who were completely different from how he is on film. Like, I'm talking a persona.
But
Graze
also, like, some of it was like the same though, right? Like, so like, for instance, me and Crix, there was a lot of times where Crix was just live streaming from his phone and me and Crix just took off. Like, we were just gone.
Yeah.
Like we're like, oh yeah, they're standing there. No, we're just going to go find some stuff to do. Find some people to talk to, you know, like, and then Bob and Mel would come in like, from the side lanes like 2 hours later, like, damn. And then like, here's Mel, like, what's up? We're here. and then you've got like Cargos and Tactics and Tyrannosaur, kind of like the quieter ones in the back. You know, Cargos is in a nice suit with like a handkerchief pocket, you know, like drinking his high class beer and stuff. And then we're just like this group of 4 was like the D-gen, like run around downtown,
shorts and slides, holding a phone camera. 8-hour streams a day on live stream. Undead, don't give a fuck.
Yeah. I think that this group of 4 people that are right here right now would be like the quintessential like do it for the content kind of people, like do it for the Vine, right? Like screw it, we're live. Too. Like, yeah, Desi was. What was cool about Desi's
like famous, right? I did not understand. I didn't know she was go that off on famous. Her own. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah. What was cool? I thought was really cool about Desi was that she just was there and did her own thing the whole trip. It was like wake up, go live. Take
like,
off.
Crix, you want to share an Uber over to the thing? Yeah, you want to get okay, cool. And then that we get literally hang calls out the car and like talk some shit with each other's chat, and then we'd walk to like the opening doors. All right, see you later. Hit me up if you need anything. Yeah, and we just separate, and then we pass each other all the time. And
she's cool. Like a very independent person. Very independent.
Yeah,
like she was just out there doing her own thing.
Single woman in a house of 15 other dudes. Well, I guess Sully's still there too. 13 other dudes, and obviously everybody was super respectful. That's the best part about it. Nobody was weird. We even had people like Macho GG. Shout out, is it Mako?
Yeah, Macho was there. A
couple people come through that from her chat that we all know because some people circulate. Yeah, so I'm super glad she came. I didn't even.
Yeah, and she'd be that dope. Yeah, she was so nice, so nice.
Yeah, she's like she is on stream. For the most part, I think she is like pretty much like she is on stream.
Shout out to Jalen Johnson too. Long time homie from everyone's streams, and
he stream sniped us, and he's like, I remember he came in my chat yesterday and sent the clip in there. He's like, yeah, stream sniper, and he like walks up out of nowhere. He's like, I stream sniped you guys.
Yeah, Jalen. He's the reason he got us into that party at that one bar though, the Whiskey House or whatever it was called. Yeah, Jalen.
That was a dope ass one too.
Yeah, Jalen. He came to TwitchCon for free. He's actually big into music, Crix. I don't know if you knew that. He's like a SoCal, like LA musician, like big in the industry guy. So he had a lot of like hookups at TwitchCon for the music scene, which was really cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but shout outs to him.
We can't forget about
it was so much fun.
The chant.
But I am glad to be back home. I'm glad to be playing video games again.
Oh yeah, the old throat goat.
Yeah. And okay, so I guess we were chanting throat goat. And at the time, I thought we were chanting, go, 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 go. So if you look at the clip and you look at my mouth, I'm chanting go the entire time. And then afterwards, I found out what we were actually chanting.
Oh my God.
So this needs some, okay.
Is Sarth's reaction to one of the songs at the concert, right?
Yeah, so we should preface this though. The listeners probably have no idea why we were chanting throat goat to begin. Like, you know what I mean? Like
fair.
There's a concert at the TwitchCon on Saturday night, right? And one of the performers is this iconic performer, musical artist, and their genre is called
Kim Petras. Let's throw a name out there.
Kim Petras is the name. Their genre is called slut pop. Okay,
it's exactly what you think it would be.
And yes, it is
pop music, but very slutty.
Yeah. If you're familiar with like current day rappers like Nicki Minaj, Cardi B, you know how there's this recurring pattern in their music, which is like, I'm going to do the most raunchy things to your man parts, right? That is Kim Petras, but Kim Petras is on like a whole nother level of like vulgarity in the music, right?
It is kind of crazy to think about.
Yeah. So they played it. They were there, they performed, and our group of classic WoW homies started to chant "Throat Goat."
And
because
the name she was, except
because it was in the song. Yeah, the song has like the throat goat, right? So everyone's chanting this, and then I guess Bob is in the background thinking everybody's chanting "Go, go, go." So,
I'm just like, yeah, whatever.
there it is. There's the throat goat sound.
My soundboard, baby.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Shout outs to Emilzia, by the way. Shout outs to Emilzia, who was popping off.
A Twitch only concert for people who stream. I don't think it's partner only. It was everyone who streams who can get in, even community people.
Yep.
And it was a Megan Thee Stallion concert, and it was the opener for Megan Thee Stallion. Was at first it was like a Paramore-esque kind of band, you know?
Yeah, very pop punky.
Yeah, they're pretty cool. It was very feministy. The whole vibe was just cool. I'm down with that. I'm not complaining at all. But it was three black females like Paramore, literally just like Paramore. I called them Black Paramore. And then the second one was Kim Petras, and then it was Megan Thee Stallion.
I think they're actually on Fearless Records, or I think that's what it's called. That first
group.
They're
pretty good, bro. They're really
Fearless
good.
Records is a fairly big record label for pop punk. And I got to talk to the manager of their band before the show started because I saw someone's name tag just straight up said Fearless Records, and I was like, that's actually kind of cool.
They're pretty good.
We have industry people here.
Well, and it was cool that it was at it was huge. It was at the Padres Stadium. And I guess I should have known this.
Packed.
Because I've seen Tim the Tap Man stream the party, like before. And I guess I knew it was in a big stadium, but like it didn't click until we got there. I was like, oh, it's in the big stadium. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Dude, Twitch culture is so weird. Because it's like a subgenre of pop culture, right? Like there was an entire Padres stadium full of thousands of people chanting "Throat Goat," and every single one of them knows what Wide Peepo Sag is. You know what I mean? Like it's just this weird subculture that's cool actually
if everyone
huge,
could have like an emote that pops above their head somehow in real life.
Well, there was one guy.
Same. Mine would be an eggplant at like all times.
Oh yeah, there definitely was a big Kim Petras. Even like Emmy, shout out Emmy. Emmy was in there.
Yeah, I just said that. Shout out to Emilzia. Yeah.
Holy she walked in. She goes, "Kim is my favorite artist. I hope she's next." And then she came up next, and she was wilding out more than anybody in the group. Knew all the words, and you would never expect it because she looks like this little naive, innocent, like.
Oh my gosh, I
she
know
knew every word.
Every word.
She's looking you dead in the eyes. I'll suck this. You know what I mean? She's into the lyrics, bro. And then Megan Thee Stallion comes on, and then she leaves. She's like, "All right, cool."
Yeah.
2 songs in. All right, I'm cool. That's all I came for. I'm like, damn.
And Emilzia is a slut pop connoisseur. We found out. Like she gets down with the slut pop.
It was dope.
And so and I tried to drag people. So I didn't go to much panels at all. And I usually don't at BlizzCon either. I catch them later because I want to just spend as much time with the people that I can. But I tried to drag everybody to this cosplay contest because I love those at normal Comic-Cons because it's just like rapid fire people coming out with all their costumes. But there wasn't a ton of cosplay at Twitch, and they had this thing where they did a whole intro, and I know it was probably cool for people that did cosplay to see like intricately of how they did their costume and stuff, but I just like to see the cool costumes in rapid succession. Like that's my TikTok, you know. Like, and so
I think that
wasn't as good as I thought it was gonna be.
Cosplay is definitely like a BlizzCon, Comic-Con type thing, more so than Twitch. Just because the cosplay category in Twitch isn't that big, right? Like if there was a bigger cosplay category, a lot more people would show up. But sadly, most of the cosplayers that cosplay in real life are doing ASMR on Twitch in their off time. So it's like, there should have been an ASMR panel, to be honest. And that would have been popping off. I would have gone to that. I love ASMR.
Well, that's how I do Amaranth way before she ever did any of the crazy stuff. Like I knew her way back when she just did cosplay because like I really liked cosplay. And so and then when she started to get big is when she started to do all the crazy stuff, and so like I have pictures with her in different cosplay that was way before she ever did any ASMR or anything.
Dude, I remember my girlfriend at TwitchCon 2017, like somehow I lost her. I was like, where the fuck did you go? Right. So I text her. I was like, where are you at? And she's like, I'm like with Amaranth. And I was like, what? Dude, my girlfriend just like became part of Amaranth's like entourage at Twitch. I don't even know how it happened. Like my girlfriend doesn't even watch Amaranth, but she was just like, yeah, no, I met this cool streamer. Her name's Amaranth. Like, yeah, we're just walking around having a good time.
TwitchCon?
No, it was TwitchCon 2017, like 5 or 6 years ago.
At this TwitchCon? And
No. I had several.
He did. No. Look at me, winky. Look at me. Think black, white hair.
Yeah. Crix and I had a girlfriend. Crix was my girlfriend.
No, babe, time out.
Crix was my girlfriend at TwitchCon. We cuddled in bed every night. I woke up, got coffee one day. Sarth woke up, got coffee the other day. It kind of just worked out. We didn't stay in the same house, just so any of our potential life mates are listening. Crix and I were in the cottage, separate from the main house, where him and I had a bro fest.
It's good stuff. It's good stuff. Yeah, it was it's like, I don't know. Did you guys go to any of the panels? Like, I just spent most of the time walking around talking to people. But the panels,
Crix went to panels for like
how to grow as a streamer and
exactly what's a panel?
All these different things.
Yeah, never mind. I thought those were the booths.
Oh no. The booth is the floor. Panels usually at like Comic-Cons, it's like an actor talking about what they do or what they did for a show. Sometimes it's a voice actor. Sometimes it's just like usually different actors and stuff, or comic creators or stuff like that. But here it was like how to grow as a streamer, and then there were some other ones, but we didn't end up getting to anything. Like we checked out the cosplay contest for like a second, and that was it. And we were done.
I wanted to see the cosplay thing, but I missed it due to the time.
Well, to be honest,
if one of the meetings before, I don't know which one.
If I'm being completely honest, man, I wasn't even there for TwitchCon. I was there for you guys. Like I was there to meet up with the Classic WoW homies, and that was. So that I didn't even get to walk around the convention floor for like more than maybe an hour over the entire weekend because I was just so busy with you guys having fun, and like Crix was live streaming and we were all goofing off, and
we got
that
lucky.
was what I wanted out of the trip. Was I got exactly what I wanted.
Well,
was hanging out with you.
Even more, dude. It was so much fun.
Yeah, when we signed up for it, the way I sold it to Mel is I was like, dude, BlizzCon used to be the highlight of our year because we got to see everybody. If we go to TwitchCon, I bet you there's some people that are going to go, like, and we can see people and hang out with people. And then you guys all were like, we have those streamer outs. So I was like, oh man, this is going to be good. This is going to be good. And so it was just, we just signed up for it early on because we just really wanted to like have that something close to the BlizzCon. I mean, Crix, you're going to freak when you go to BlizzCon. Like,
I can't wait.
It's a whole different everybody. So many more people will like just know who you are and everything. It's crazy different.
Yeah, I think if Crix goes to BlizzCon, he's actually going to get like stopped every 5 minutes for a picture with somebody.
100%.
You're that guy on YouTube that I talk shit on. Well, actually, dude. Oh, is that Crix? I'm the guy that corrects all your videos every time in the comments.
And Chris, I love you, bro.
Dude, I have some people fucking correcting some crazy shit. Like, someone corrected me one time on 8%. And they're like, actually, it's 7.84%. I'm like, hey, bro.
And it's like, we don't round up out here in these YouTube videos. We ain't rounders, all right.
And I've learned I can't be rude to anybody. I can't be like, no shit. I used to be like, no shit. But people are like, yeah, you're getting all butthurt. I'm not even getting butthurt. It's just like a way that,
So this is what you do, Crix. I'll give you the easy way out for this. This is why McConnell exists, all right? You do what Grace for Days does. You call me, and I flame your chat. And then you just sit there and you go, hey, I didn't say it. Winky said it. Right? That's literally what Grace for Days does every time. Every time.
Chat, the Twitch chat is like the soldiers. They're the guys who go flame somebody. Every now and then you'll get somebody in who thinks they're like, oh yeah, well, so like someone will come in chat and say something stupid. I'm like, yo, but I can't tell at this point because I flame a lot of people too. Like I banter with my chat. Like yesterday, someone comes in, I don't know what he says. He was so irrelevant. And but I couldn't tell if he was just like trolling. Like he was just, I was like, after the second time, I look at his messages and he kind of like hangs out sometimes, but kind of throws some troll shit because that could just be someone who likes people like shit talking, like friendly shit talking. And so when you're like streaming, sometimes it comes off like, yo, you're super bad at this game. Why are you playing? Yeah, ban him. I don't do that. I'm like, yo, you're bad at the game. Okay, he followed. Now he just wants someone to. They just want someone just to kind of shit talk.
See, I just go.
But every now and then,
I
might
am
not
bad.
get that. Yeah. Every now and then you get somebody serious about it. Like they hate you for some reason. I'm like, yo. So I couldn't tell. I'm like, yo, dude, I can't tell if you're trolling me or not. But I'm opening fire the next time you say anything if you don't tell me you're not trolling.
Yeah, nuanced sarcasm is a big deal, right? Like it's hard to, and it's really hard to distinguish via text if someone's being sarcastic or not. Thank God we have emotes, because I can be like, Crix, you're dumb as fuck. I hate you, lol. Right? and then it's better, right?
Yeah, or like all my mods is like your hairline's evaporating. I'm like, okay. all right.
I love to use the I think it's the grimacing thing when I make a joke and it's like the smiley face when he's showing all the teeth. He's like,
mm-hmm.
Oh man,
this is episode 1, 2, 3. I love that. This whole weekend I've been saying 124 episodes, but that's okay. That's dope. 1, 2, 3 with Winky.
1, 2, 3.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3. Yeah.
123 episodes. That's a lot, bro.
Yeah, it's a lot.
All right, Bob.
I'm like 22 on ours, and I don't even want to do them anymore. I'm like, fuck.
Can I do your job, Bob, and say we should move on?
We should probably move into
it's
the
been
news.
like an hour of this
proof
topic.
of friends, though. That's the proof. Is you can literally, I could sit there and talk to these guys about, and I know you live in Kansas City. My sister lives out there. I'm going out there in like a month, so it's like perfect.
Hey.
Oh, dude, you definitely.
Like,
Yeah,
we
we have to
forever and talk about anything.
Show you, dude. We have to show you barbecue, man. Show you right.
Mm-hmm.
Famous for our barbecue here.
I'm literally going out and visiting people that are all in the house, like the Solis. I want to go see the Solis. I want to see everybody, man. I want to go see Murder.
I want to go see the Solis too.
Yeah.
See, now we actually have to leave our houses again, or we're like all motivated.
We won't, though. We'll see you next year.
Anybody that listens to this pod
there,
knows that like we talk about WoW, but it's supposed to be a bunch of friends hanging in the pub talking about WoW. It's not about, knowing the best strats, everything else. There's other places for that. This is the place where you're hanging out with people. And we went to TwitchCon. We needed to talk about it, but we should move into the news. So time for the news. Okay. So first off, our boy Sarth was super excited about this. A new esports event is coming to Wrath. And it is the Undying challenge. It's a PvE challenge, guys. Kind of like the Mythic, I forget what it's called in retail, but like it's a PvE challenge. And I know Crix is excited about it. So why don't you tell us what this is going to be?
I know a little bit about it. And what I can touch on it is they're taking the 2 best guilds in the world, which is Fireball, Progress, and Space Force. They've been objectively known as, Beef Bar's up there too, obviously, but it's the whole like EU versus NA thing, which I think is the best part about it. And they're doing 10-mans where they go in 10-mans or some, and they just clear the raid, 10-man, 25-man, and they just race to see who's going to do it first. So it sounds like Undying, meaning you can't die. Yeah. What that means if you can't die,
without dying.
Who knows?
Yeah, it's like, so it's kind of like hardcore, and also they're starting with the crap timer, gear. Right? They're starting with crap gear, which I think is really neat.
It's not going to be regular characters. They're going to start with some kind of template gear. I don't know how much. Nobody knows how much it is yet. Or some kind of gear. It's a limited time to gear up, and then they're going to smash through the raids. I don't know. It looks like it just says Naxx, so they're just going to run through Naxx.
Well, I think I heard
dying.
That each character is allowed to run 1 heroic. So I think they're allowed to do that. So that's how they can kind of like.
Well, I think they can do a world tour, right?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a world tour. Yeah. I would assume it's going to be a world tour, and then to see, which is going to be interesting, because what if you don't get everything in your world tour,
Oh, they're definitely not, which is going to be cool.
Yeah.
Like
you kind of got to pay attention to what groups you're putting stuff in. So if someone gets the right mark, or your tank trinkets or whatever else, it's going to be really exciting, because it's not going to be they're not going to be some overpowered, all purpled out BOEs from tailoring, for example, or blacksmithing, Titan Steel spell blades. You're not doing none of that. You're in bare bones gear, which I think would be cool, because the raids are easy, as we know, and these are the best guilds in the world objectively over I don't know how many years now. So all
in a 10-man,
and they're in a 10-man. So it's like they're going to clap it out, bro. They're going to, assuming it's a 10-man.
What do you think?
Even if it wasn't a 10-man, did they say it was a 10-man? Even if it wasn't a 10-man, either way, they're gonna absolutely demolish that.
What do you think the average time is going to be for clearing Naxx for these guilds? Like,
what is a 10-man looking like right now? Does anybody know? I did a 3.5-hour 10-man last night. I don't want to talk about it.
That's actually rough, bro. I plugged one that was like an hour and a half.
Yeah, it was a full bug. I missed my guild signups because I was out of town and didn't know they had one, so I just had to scrape it together this week. But I had a lot of fun, though. I had absolutely no problem. It was one of those things where you can plug some things, right? and it could be
Yeah.
bad. We're wiping.
Yeah.
Not one argument. No one yelling at each other. Nobody
good.
left the
Good.
entire time. That's a big
Even
one.
Yeah,
for
that's good.
3.5 hours.
3.5 hours. We couldn't kill Patchwork first boss. We had to go clear all the other wings and come back to Patchwork, and then we one shot him. So it was like everybody's spirits were lifted. I absolutely hard carried it, so it made me look like a god, which is amazing. And didn't get any loot at all. So I didn't get anything for the 3.5 hours except for good footage for some videos, which is the whole reason I did it in the first place.
Yeah.
And because I'm doing a big demonology guide today after this. And it was a lot of fun. Meet some new friends. It's always, as a streamer, if I like pugging as a streamer because I post my stream. I'll be like, hey guys, I'm streaming just in case you want to watch it. But I usually post that afterwards, right? Just because I shit talk anybody during it. Anyway, at the end of it, I'm like, yo, I was streaming this, by the way, check me out. And then you see 6-7 falls come through. And so I like pugging in terms of networking. My stream started on private servers back when there was nobody. And the only way I had to get my name out there was spamming my, hey, Twitch chat. And it was cringe to some people, but that's how I got my base. My base is still rocking with me, and we keep going and going and going and going. You know?
I love this. I have a macro for when I'm in BGs, and if we just destroy the BG, I always put it at the end. Hey, if you're bored and grinded, check out Warcraft Reloaded podcast.
Yeah, exactly. And
everybody in the guild makes fun of me.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't do it to my guild because there are people who do it, and I'm in Fusion. People know who I am. I'm not like some big. I'm not no ego and nothing. I do have an ego, but I'm not saying the sentence with an ego. Like they know some of them know who I am. So I'm not gonna post my my Twitch and my own guild chat, right?
Oh, yeah, I don't do that.
If I'm in a BG, like you said, I'll right before, hey, yo, if you need to vibe out, because I listen to music all the time. That's my main stream. It's just me listening to music, right? I'll be like, yo, if you need to vibe out while we're here, come here. And people are like, oh, you're garbage. The funniest stuff is they're like, I don't want to watch your 3-viewer stream, just assuming that they don't know who I am, one, and they're assuming, because that's what a lot of the streams are, no offense. Yeah. And then someone will go like, yo, that's the real Crix. And then that same guy like, oh, my bad, dude. I didn't know you actually were streaming. I'm like, that's no big deal, bro. Because I'm not gonna get everybody to watch. It's just to get it. If you get one person a day, if you meet one new follower a day that vibes with you, bro, that's one a day. Do the math. That's how you grind on Twitch. We're not S-Fan. We're not Osmond Gold. We're not Lyric. We're not Shroud. We're not Tifu. We're not Critical. We're not these guys. We are nobody Andy's playing we're niched inside of a niche game, which is inside of another niche game. If you look at it, as Classic's a niche inside of World of Warcraft. World of Warcraft's a niche inside of gaming. You know what I mean? So you got to do whatever you get, bro, and you got to be happy.
If you're playing hardcore, you're a niche within a niche within a niche.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You got to be
which is what's
weird. Viewers however you can.
What's the YouTube for this podcast is small, but it's weird as hell. On iTunes, we're a top. We range from top 50 to top 100 in the gaming category.
Yeah, this is the best
podcast. That's just
bro.
the US. In Sweden and Denmark, we're oftentimes number 1.
Jeez.
In Canada, we're in the 25s. It's crazy, because I think WoW just works for podcasts because people grind so much, and it's just something in the background.
It's a personal game. It's a boring game. To be honest, it's a boring game to some. Like it could be, you're bored as shit when you're farming, whatever, right? It's fun because we've been playing it for so long. But people are, not everybody, but generally are. We're in the 30s. Generally are around 30. My viewers, it tells you analytics 28 to 34, 90% of my viewers. So
I've got a lot of 40s.
It gets a little lower when, for some people, but that's fine. And that's this game that we're playing. It's because we choose to play this game. Winky plays a lot of GTA or RP, and I'm going to join him in that. I know once I do that, the viewers will get a little bit lower in age, but it's just a lot of fun, bro. It's almost like it's hard to find people to game with, but it's not,
Oh, then the other news, there's also a classic arena tournament that's open to everybody. We'll have the info in the show notes, but the signups close on October 28th of an offline bracket, November 5th and 6th, and then the top 8 live broadcast will be November 11th through 13th. So definitely check that out in the show notes to see how you can sign up if you're looking to do that.
It's gonna be a lot of fun. There's a big money prize for that one. There's money prize for both of them, but that's the big one for that one.
Yeah, a 100,000.
The best, yeah, bro, that's crazy. And I think the Undying one is, I don't remember what it was.
I don't think they posted about it.
They didn't say,
at least here
in the original.
Just kidding, there isn't one. Ignore that.
Then what else? Okay, so
can we pause a moment and get a little moment of silence for Hagrid? The actor for Hagrid died this morning.
Oh, yeah.
Age 72. Shout out Hagrid.
He looked good for 72. I'm just saying.
We love you, Hagrid. Thank you. Okay, carry on.
Just so you guys know, the fastest 10-man Naxx in the world is 1 hour, 16 minutes.
Who was it?
Really?
Chinese guild name. I don't know the name.
So it's a lot
Chinese
slower than
symbols, okay.
25
Yeah,
man.
symbols. And then there's carried is the second fastest with
that lower
9
than
seconds
25 man?
slower.
We had like an hour, 5 minute, 25 minute. I feel like
I think people just don't care about 10 man. 25 man is 102.
Oh.
Well, yeah, because 10 man is 10 mans are. Well, I just did like, for instance, if you 10 mans have gear, but not as good as the 25 mans or even some of the previous stuff you have. So it's nice. There's a lot of side grades, but nothing too crazy. But the reason you do 10 mans is for the emblems, right? Emblems. I would suggest doing them for practice. So I did it, for example. I am usually Affliction, but now I'm full demo, so I wanted to get the practice in on it. And that's just a good run to just get used to it, you know?
Well, there
So
are
is
some
this
choice
Naxx,
items.
Sarth,
'cause,
and
like,
Mally all at once though? Like, how do I just sort just Naxx?
They did. You can't.
Okay, Warcraft
You can
logs
go
is
by
literally
bosses.
every time I'm on this show, Bob and Mel, I'm
KT,
sorry,
yeah.
I dick on Warcraft logs every time I'm on this show. And I'm going to keep that trend going.
You
This
do
is
that on
stupid
the
as hell, Warcraft logs. What the hell? You can't split by raid?
Really?
Guess
You
not.
cannot look at specific rankings for Naxx only.
No.
It's Naxx, Sarth, Mally all in one.
Oh. That's
Who thought of that?
I
Why?
don't know that it's always been like that either. It's weird.
Why would they do it like that? I'm sure they have a reason for it, right? I shouldn't be that harsh on them for it. There's got to be some kind of like reason to why they do that. That maybe is like a logistical thing, or maybe people even voted on it. But that's dumb as fuck. Let's be real.
Yeah.
Why would you do that?
I don't know.
I don't know. Now I'm annoyed.
Now I'm annoyed.
Well, it's something
They
that
ruined.
might annoy you a little more, but I'm going to mention it for a reason.
Okay. Oh no, here we go.
So there's new Wrath of Lich King items available in the Blizzard Gear Store and Amazon and Pop Mart. And I think this is great. And I think you guys should buy these because the more revenue they get from this, maybe the less chance of them putting in-game stuff on the shop. So probably
Bob,
not.
That is full copium.
But
That is
maybe.
full cope.
It's hey man, I'm coping away. They actually look pretty cool though. I think I
There's
might
no
get
way like gear store purchases are going to correlate to like non-in-game profits. Like they're going to put stuff in the store in the game.
But I'm
They
just
have to.
hoping they don't, and then we just buy these things. And it's kind of cool.
But they're
That's-
different revenue streams, right? Like
I know.
one of them's a digital
purchase.
purchase, one of them's physical purchase.
Well, they look cool, and I
I'm
can
down.
hope where I can hope.
I'll take a WotLK hoodie.
Oh, yeah.
I like sweatshirts.
Yeah.
Do you have a link for what they are? Let me see. Is it in the Google Doc?
It's number 2 in segment 2.
Let's see here.
They look pretty cool. I mean, we'll have a link in the show notes for everybody to check out, but looks pretty cool. I'll
Oh,
Yeah,
the book's
they're all
kind of cool. I like
physical
that
items,
book.
I'll throw the
Exploring
link in
Azeroth.
Twitch chat here. I mean,
All right, the hoodie's kind of lame. I like the hoodie, but if it was in black, I would like it more. I don't like the blue on blue.
Mm-hmm.
yes.
Ice Crown Scourge. That looks like it's like a guild logo, like a scourge.
This next one, I was kind of hoping to have Crix to, but maybe
I'll
you
be
know
back.
something about it.
I know nothing.
Blizzard cautioned against skipping bosses in Naxx. I guess people were able to skip bosses during beta.
Well, I mean,
Hey, Crix, do you know anything about this?
If I had to guess, they don't want you skipping bosses
Items
because
available
Naxx
on
was
Blizzard
never
Gear for
intended for
Amazon
you to skip
Pop Mart.
bosses.
No. We're now on the Wrath. So Blizzard cautioned people to not skip bosses in Naxx. Was that something that was going on in beta?
I don't know anything about that.
Yeah,
Like in
see,
terms
I
of
didn't
like
know.
speed running stuff, like for like your rules of speed running.
No,
Or just period?
it's just saying you can skip bosses somehow. Like, because if you kill the last boss in each wing, it would bring out Saffron. So you could skip certain bosses, maybe. Like, but I don't really.
I just think they never intended for Naxx to have skippable bosses. Something like so they
You
just
go
don't want
straight
you
to Staff
to.
and KT later on. Yeah, later on you can like kind of how you can do that with like SSC and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, well,
after it's
Now
not
I don't know if you can do that. I don't know if there's a way to do that.
Well, they've
What does
said
it
that
mean?
you
Don't
could
be
in beta.
surprised if attempts to skip bosses lead to disappointing results. Like, what does that mean? Disappointing
Yeah,
results?
I don't know.
Probably
Is this on logs?
it's
Is this from,
probably
like, Blizzard?
meaning it's
This
from
is
Blizzard. It's a blue
Blizzard.
post.
It's
probably meaning
three.
that if you skip a boss, it like something doesn't trigger in the code and you don't get loot off of the boss that you kill after you skip one. You know what I mean? Like,
oh, here.
Yeah.
Okay, so Mike, aka Balls of Steel in chat, said that they that they allowed it later, but they kept it vague. Okay, well, I think this is talking about people were doing it. Were somehow able to do it in beta, and they were saying not to. I don't know. If anybody wants to write us in or tell us in the comments what this means.
I'm gonna ask my guild real quick.
yeah, that's so cryptic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It would be
like, why couldn't they just
nice
be transparent and say, hey, look, there's a bug we've noticed where you can skip this boss. If you caught doing this, we're going to ban you. Or like,
hey,
you know,
may be weird here, but how about you just fix it?
Yeah.
Dude, can we talk about how buggy Wrath has been already?
Big Blizzard chill here. We know this, but I don't know how the ins and outs of Blizzard work. But like, I feel like if there's an issue and you know of the issue,
Wrath is so buggy so
it's
far.
harder to fix. I don't know. You just kind of fix it and then go. I mean, ignite munching, troll flaying. There's some stuff that I guess I get that you can't fix because they're just like, it's like whatever. But like stuff like big bugs and stuff like that, I think it's just one of the, you should just fix it.
Gameplay is broken, Chris. Well, gameplay is broken in some situations.
In the discussion though, because that'll be perfect for that. You know, because some people just listen to certain time stamps. You know, because I put the time stamps in the notes so that everybody can like find what they like if they don't want to like list the whole thing. So I'd hate to talk about it here and then not have it in the other. So, but we're almost through. We're almost through the DM news here. Number 4 in the notes, basically is just the patch notes and the fixes. There was like one thing that I saw that I wanted to hit, but I don't. Well, did I? Several okay. So this is what confused me. So the human racial will to survive and PvP trinkets now clear the effect of Shackle Undead. How do you get Shackled Undead?
Priest.
If you're an undead.
Do it. Well, if you're undead, I don't think it shackles you. I think you're still considered a humanoid.
You're considered a Forsaken, so you're not like, so you can't shackle. I think this means other people
like I have no idea.
It's probably They probably mean it's probably not even in a PvP sense. They probably mean it, and if a boss mechanic shackles you, you can get out of it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah, we hear human racial and we immediately think arena.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of boss, mob mechanics that shackle you as well.
Dude, I've been loving there's, it doesn't work on everything, but Will to Survive, I'm just like, I just try it every time something stuns me in a dungeon or a raid. And I'm like, it works on most shit. It's awesome.
I guess I just looked at the comments. The Lichborn Death Knights can hit you with it, I guess.
There you go.
And you couldn't pop out of it. As a human, I didn't know that, but hey, whatever.
Shout outs to all the haters, by the way, that said human actually isn't that good because you don't have good enough trinkets to make use of your human racial over PvP trinket and arena in the earliest 2 phases of the game. Yeah, well, I play on a PvP server and I win every PvP interaction because of that, Rachel. So good.
I am also on a PvP server. It's called Benediction, but there's nobody there, so it's pretty much a PvE server. And I want to let you know, I can look at my logs right now. I use Will to Survive to get out of something maybe 5-6 times a raid. I
use it like 5-6 times an hour, dude. Like
it gets you out of everything.
Yeah,
it's a PvP trinket. Yeah, especially when you're trying to hold W Zug it.
You need to like /friend Blazing Bob and Blazing Bobby so you can like.
I'll get game right into it, buddy.
Yeah, pull me into your pugs because I saw you in some dungeon the other day, and I was like, "Oh man, I wish I could have done that with him."
Are you going to be raiding? Are you raiding?
Yeah.
I'm
supposed to be raiding in two raids, but we'll see if we get enough people to do 2 full raids. But if not, I'll be doing GDKPs or putting the other character in a guild or something.
In about 2 weeks, I have a guild too, a community guild that we're gonna start raiding. If you guys know.
Ooh, I'll put my warlock in that guild.
It'll be a lot of fun.
I'm betting. I'm in Vargflocken right now, but I'm not even leveling it right now. I don't want to sell the dream that one day I'll be able to raid with Vargflocken.
Right.
I would love to. It'd be such a privilege.
If we don't get a second raid going, I do want to raid. Like I want 2 mains. I don't want a main and an alt. Like I want 2 mains and 1 alt. Like so. Yeah. So definitely, I have that open.
I'm trying really hard this time. Like TBC, I just played a warlock pretty much the whole time. I'm really trying hard not to corner myself in just doing a warlock, but I finally got caught up. And it's like, now I can do whatever.
Yeah, but
I just
now
wanna play with
Warlocks
Yip.
are killing it. All right, well,
I want to be a
is there
Yip
anything
enjoyer, dude.
else? Is there anything? I don't think.
No, did you want to talk about the warrior thing though?
What warrior thing?
They fixed it. The fiery weapon
Yeah.
Oh,
is
yeah,
that already
that's
fixed?
the next thing. Okay, so
Oh.
immediately fix it.
so
Hell yeah.
Sarth came out with this video, and everybody jumps in my chat. They're like, "Dude, did you see Sarth's fiery weapon video?" I was like, "Yeah, dude, it's a total troll. He's trying to do the whole, Clamgate thing." And it wasn't a troll. Like, they came out and fixed it immediately. I saw it. I was like, "Oh my god, he was serious. Holy shit!" Like, so basically,
Oh my God.
like the TLDR is fiery weapon was critical striking, so it was giving way more crits than just weapons would. So therefore, it was popping deep wounds almost like basically forever. And so that's what was like really bugging. And there was other ways to get it too, like other different interactions you could add on, different, like, I think there was a necklace. I don't know. There was different things. And so they found it was just proccing deep wounds constantly. And as weapons get better and everything too, it would have just been nutso. So they fixed it immediately. And I heard of a few different people that had already replaced 2 berserk enchants with fiery weapon. And those on my server are like
Come
2
on.
to 2.5K a piece.
Yeah, it takes 10 abyss crystals per one.
Yeah, it's nuts. So
That's crazy.
It's a bummer for them.
I'm glad they fixed it though. That should not have been in the game.
Yeah,
100%.
Well, at the same time, I don't care that it was in the game because it's for warriors who are objectively the worst DPS in the game. So, and it didn't make them that much better. So I wouldn't have, out of all the fixes, cool. But there's some other stuff they could still fix that'd be a little bit better. That was
But doesn't Warrior get good later?
Oh, really
later,
good.
yeah, later that would have sucked.
I mean,
but right now, let them give them a little bit of a boost here.
They
you know
could
what I
have,
mean?
they could have just waited
Yeah,
to
later
fix it. They've
powerhouses.
been like,
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
we'll get to it in Older War or something, type of deal.
Nah, I'm just get rid of it, dude. If you're playing a stupid warrior anyway, I feel bad for you, son.
Oh,
I think Bob has a warrior, guys.
Imagine relying on
prot.
a rage bar.
I'm Prot though. Prot, which has been amazing.
I'm a warrior hater. I
Dude,
was
I'm
scarred by
doing so
vanilla
much
WoW.
damage.
It only helped Fury out too as well. It didn't do anything. It was only for Fury really that it did anything crazy for.
Yeah.
Yep.
It was funny because I remember watching. I love Orlando. I know some people don't, but I fucking love Orlando. And I was watching him, and he was all hyped about it, farmed up everything. And Fiery was getting expensive, bro. I saw 250 per on the server, like it was expensive. And obviously I'm Benediction, so our market's a little like screwed. And then they fix it, and then the title was like, "Never mind, it was fixed." And all these people were spending so much money on it. It's like, damn. It's kind of. I wish one thing. I wish, which you can go. I guess I can wait until we go over the logs to go talk about it. But I'll wait till we do DPS rankings. Continue.
Well, I think that's it for the bug stuff. They did fix Saffron. They're getting kind of cheeky with their things. Saffron has learned how to fly properly during the air phase, because if like when he wasn't flying up, you could still hit him. And if you were auto attacking him through the ice block, the ice block didn't count, so you just die when he did his move. And so, like, I remember when we did it on Tuesday, they were like, don't white hit. But yeah, that's been fixed. Yeah, and I think that's and then the flying across Valgard and Howling Fjord on flying mounts has been fixed. So we'll have this in the show notes if you guys want to check all of the changes. But yeah, let's
I love that. Yeah. Side note, Balls said, I love Balls. I've known him for like a couple years now. It just makes me sad that they fix this stuff so quickly, but refuse to fix Ignite munching. Even though all they do is fix something small. There's a few class bugs that are kind of not game changing, but they're pretty big, annoying and big deal that they should, it's things like that they know about. That what makes me think like the fire thing is easy to fix, right? Maybe the Ignite munching or the troll flaying or something like that is not easy to fix. I don't know.
Right.
I have no clue.
Well, real quick,
because
a lot of casuals listen to this and we forget this. Explain what Ignite munching is, because I don't know either. That's the first time I've heard of this.
I don't know what it is either. One second. Someone literally just whispered me about it earlier because they wanted me to mention it.
Well, just check in. I don't know. This game's so buggy, dude. Like, imagine playing a warlock and every time you get off your mount, your pet spawns with half health and it keeps reducing. Your pets just die all the time now if you're a pet class because you can't get on your mount.
Ignite munching happens if you cast your instant power blast just after casting a fireball. Basically, one application of ignite would get deleted by the other if they both crit, which happens a lot because they're fire.
So they call it munching.
And so they have to play around it with the macro power blast and cast sequence. Pretty sure balls will say something too in there, but I just looked up the mage Discord. Stuff like that can be fixed. Troll flaying, that's another one that's kind of big that I kind of hope they would fix as well.
Well, here, let's dude,
the Shadow Priest troll thing.
Yeah.
Well, here, let's move into the actual discussion.
Bobby, we need to have a talk about this World of Warcraft classic. Do I look like I know what a WoW token is?
All right. So, yeah. So, okay, we're going to start the talk about what we thought about the launch. And so you guys are definitely not down with the bugs.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I don't like the bugs at all.
I have so many guildies on launch that couldn't even play the game because they were on the boat.
Oh, the first boat? Yeah, dude.
They were on the first boat. And then guess what? You got kicked out so long that you got put back in the queue, and then you had an 8-hour queue.
Oh my god!
Well, and I was watching Josh Corbett as I was jumping around, and I was stuck out in the queue. And I was watching Josh, and Josh was on the first one, and I was like, "Well, hey, try the unstuck option." But everybody was trying to use the unstuck option, so it was just like stuck on a screen. He did finally get it to work, but it looked so frustrating for him, and I'm sure there was tons more. Because for people that don't know, anybody that got on that first boat that arrived like 8 minutes early, you just got stuck in limbo. And like,
you couldn't log in, couldn't do anything.
Yeah, you try to log in, and it'd say that character is already in game. And luckily, it was kicking him right back to the. It wasn't kicking him out of the game; it was kicking him back to picking his characters, so it wasn't kicking him out of the queue. But I'm sure a lot of people, try to restart their game, and there's like a 3 to 5 minute grace period, but like to get back in. But I'm sure lots of them didn't. They might have thought they needed to reboot their internet or a whole plethora of different things. But yeah, that was a bummer bug.
Well, and imagine, you take the day off work, you're really excited, it's launch day, you can't wait, you log in early to avoid the queue, you've been waiting on this dock for 6 hours, and then you get on the boat like you're supposed to, like the game intends you to, and then you literally get kicked into the queue for 8 more hours. Like, your day is ruined. Your whole launch day experience is fully ruined.
Oh,
I had no problems on launch day, but day 2, I was giga screwed, Bo. I didn't get to play all of day 2 because of queues. Just DC bugs, 10-hour queue, DC bugs, 5-hour queue, just over and over again. It was heartbreaking. I'm talking me just sitting at my computer, just like, please let me in.
Yeah, that's what I'm like. All right, I guess I'll do React content. I don't want to end stream.
Crix and I also had a very unique launch day as well, because we both casted the race to World for Sage,
which was so cool.
On the Method
didn't talk
broadcast.
about that. Hell yeah!
So that was like
Winky and
that was
Willy.
A really cool opportunity. Yeah, I mean the Winky and Willy meme really popped off.
I watched. I watched both of you. Even when I got back on stream, I don't know if I was supposed to do it, but I just put like the race to World First in the corner of my stream. And just had like the Twitch link or the Twitch name, but I was like, well, I'm gonna watch this, and that's just all there is to it. But I'm still leveling.
Big shout outs to Method for putting that on. And Cargos was like one of the main planners of that whole event with Method.
Awesome.
And you can tell Cargos was kind of one of the main planners of it because a lot of the hardcore homies were very deeply involved in that whole event.
You can tell
really
when Cargos has his fucking hand in something.
Yeah, you really can. Yeah. So it was really fun.
Cargos, he runs everything.
Yeah.
You get people Yeah, you get everybody in there. There's a lot of thugs representing. Thugs is in the guild. Cargos is so humble with it too. He doesn't understand. And even meeting him in person, he's just like that too. He's just as humble as you think he would be, bro. Care. He does not care about himself nearly as he does everybody else. I watched him do. We had one ER trip we had to do. I'm from Portland. He lives in Sacramento. I flew to Sacramento. Tactics flew from Denmark over to Sacramento, so he's been there for a day. We're driving from Sacramento, 8-hour drive to San Diego. An hour or two in, our buddy Tactics gets super carsick. We're always carsick, pull over, throw up. He can't throw up. And then all of a sudden he's like, okay, guys, I don't think this is carsick. I think this is a real thing. So he goes to the ER. We have to stop at some ghetto Motel 6 because every other hotel, because there's a convention out of nowhere in Fresno. Yeah, so we had to stay at a ghetto Motel 6 while Tactics was in the ER for 8 hours. Right? Launch is like 8 hours away. We're 4 hours, 4 hours from where we need to be. It was so stressful, but he sat he sat there the whole time with him. We get back down here. Day 2, we're here at TwitchCon. Our friend Murderer's in the hospital for 8 hours. He goes there with him again. He's in there the whole time, driving everybody. He drove down there in a Tesla, driving everybody around everywhere, not drinking, just so he can take care of everybody pretty much, right? Just a dad. And then the last day, he was finally like, I'm not driving, bro. I'm Uber. I'm getting, hey, this is my time now, So absolutely massive shout out. I wouldn't be shit without Cargos, bro.
None of us would be.
He's the one who's like, yo, put a fucking camera on and don't stop talking. Don't stop talking.
Cargos is the reason F's in chat even exists. That's the whole reason I'm still streaming WoW to this day is because of Cargos. Like the dude, man, he just puts you on for no reason at all. I was just a guy who DM'd him an idea, and he was like, "Yes, I will. Yes, let's do F's in chat. That's good for the community. Yes, I will host you for the first 10 episodes, and yes, I will be a co-host on it with you." Like legitimize it in the community. I'm like, dude, this guy's like literally, and he didn't even know me at that point. I was like, I had made one video about hardcore I posted on YouTube. He liked the video and he was just like, yo, this is sick. Like we have this guy who's like willing to put in. I think he's just really good at reading people. If you're willing to put in work. That's
exactly what I was going to say. It is. He doesn't read people. He asks for one thing from you in return.
Yeah.
Friendship.
He
doesn't want anything. He'll tell you. I put people on and they kind of go, they forget it. You forget where you came from. Everybody does this. And I'm broke as shit. So I'm not trying to say nothing about money, but he always is like, they forget where you come from. I'm never going to forget that.
Yeah, no, never
going to forget that. Nobody can ever forget
that.
Bro,
we're real life friends. Like all of us on this call and Cargos, right? Like, dude, I was at Cargos's daughter's first birthday party. Yeah. We met over World of Warcraft. Like it's so cool, man. It's so cool. Big shout out to Cargos for putting that whole
back in the day,
whole event
Classic
on.
And TBC came out. Like I'm not Classic, old vanilla. I remember I had a group. I was young, 15, 16, and I had a group of friends. They were a couple years older than me. It's kind of why I was into WoW, and they were like 17 and 18, so like seniors and just getting into OSU and other colleges, universities, and they're playing WoW. And they met people in real life. They're adults, so they can do that. They're meeting people in real life. One of our best friends met some girl in Australia, got married, had kids. They're still playing together today. Wow. Like stuff like that. You meet. Didn't you guys meet in game too?
No.
Oh, tripping. Mrs. Solis, I think. Someone met. No, that wasn't Solis. Somebody I talked to, part of they met in a guild or something like that. That's like the dream, right? And then, it's a dream.
Yeah, it either works out or the guild breaks up, so. But no, that was a really cool part. So my launch day, I actually didn't get to play. Like I the first few hours of launch for me was like, okay, the boat messed up. That's 20 minutes out of the way. Like I finally got fixed, got to play the game. And then I was a summoner for my guild's pre-quester D-gens that were going for like server first for their class, which they did. Our guild got 5 of the 9 classes or whatever it is of server first of like all of the classes. It's crazy.
Nice.
So I did all the summoning, and then by the time the summoning was done, oh yeah, it was on Fresh too. Yeah, so Sky Fury. But by the time all that was done, and I was done summoning people around and kind of like being a little gnome that had a job for 2 hours on launch, I had to do the cast. So I spent 4 hours for my time block on the method cast. And that was what I was, would you rather play on launch or would you rather do like shout casting for like thousands of people? I would much rather shout cast for thousands of people. As fun as it's like a rare opportunity because my whole thing is I like casting things, so that's like the dream come true for me.
I almost turned it down because I was going to race. I was going to do the whole 4. I bought accounts on my own accounts. I paid for more accounts. I was going to have the dead body thing going and all that. And then I was like, yeah, I'm not passing this up. I got to do this.
Yeah, right? I think it was more
first, and I wouldn't have. So
yeah, and then that's where a lot of the memes spawned of like, yo, Winky, you're hella behind, bro. We all hit 80. Like we all stayed awake for 32 hours and we're hitting 80 now. And then
I
we're
had
doing
like a
world tour.
24-hour stream. It was nuts.
Yeah. My whole thing was and I've told you guys this before when we were talking about Wrath before it came out on Warcraft Reloaded, was my whole process with Wrath is I'm going to follow the fun. If it's not fun, I'm not doing it. If it's staying up for 36 hours, yeah, when I was 16, that was fun, right? I'm 30 years old. I have a full-time job. I did not take time off work for lunch. I am going to have fun. And if it's not fun, I am not going to do it. You can catch me on GTA, right? Like, and that's just like how my brain is. And lo and behold, guess I was full pre-bis before the first lockout, got into the first raid, cleared 10 and 25 man content for everything. And I didn't lose literal hours off my lifespan by staying up for 40 hours straight. You know what I mean? Like,
well, I mean,
so
I enjoyed that though. Like, I had a good time. It got funny towards the end when I couldn't make like full sentences and like,
Oh yeah.
it was
I went and took a nap.
It was funny. Yeah, Mel went and took a nap and I worked on my rogue. I worked up 280 simultaneously.
that's insane.
And
That's
then
the
still
play.
went to TwitchCon. And
Yeah,
now,
you're crazy.
I mean, but like my gear score on both of the guys are like over 3,500. So I'm a little behind, but I'm looking good. Calamity's Grasp dropped for my rogue. This weapon for combat rogue throughout the entire first phase, dropped the second raid, my first raid. Like, I'm sitting pretty. Like, I don't care anything else that drops, whatever. You can have it, bro. Like, a trinket dropped. I won the roll. And it was like, you know, a fourth bis or so. And I was like, no, you take it. I got the weapon. Like, I was just like, I mean, I'm so grateful. Like, that's what you freak out about as a rogue, you know, or as a fury
Any melee
warrior.
class.
Yeah, your weapon is so important. And like, you're like, especially main handed. I was just so thankful. And I was just like, okay, dude, I'm set, dude. I'm set. Whatever happens, happens.
You guys, so we didn't get to raid the first raid because we were traveling, right? And we were on a flight, and then there was no way we were going to get in the queue in time on Benediction to even come close to getting in the first raid. And so then we get back, and it's the night, like, so we traveled Tuesday morning, and we have my brother log us in. And so then we get back, but there was something wrong with mine. And we figured out what it was, is all of a sudden my drive just was gone. Like my solid state drive was non-existent. And so the game wasn't loaded. I didn't have any add-ons. So I'm trying to fix it, right? Trying to figure out how do I fix this while I'm in queue on the laptop. Finally, we're like in raid, and I'm like, okay, well, I guess I will switch to the laptop. So I have to raid on the laptop.
And the worst part, okay, is we had her logged in on the laptop, and then we had my two accounts logged in on the two different monitors so we could watch it while we were making dinner and everything, watch the queue. Mm-hmm. It wasn't until she was like, you know, like number 50 in the queue, and I was like, all right, you better go log in and start getting ready. And this was like maybe a half an hour before raid starts. We're like, I can't believe we actually made it in. And that's when she's like, I can't find my WoW installed. She didn't have Curse either. So none of her add-ons, nothing.
No.
So she was trying to do it. And we went and did like 1.5 wings. And finally she was just like, I just need to pull out the laptop. I can't get anything to work right. And so she had to do it on the laptop on her computer. And then she couldn't talk into Discord for the first half. It was a shit show, but we got through it.
Discord was on my computer and I was on the laptop, right? So I finally had to like move my keyboard to the side of my desk so I could talk in Discord on that keyboard.
Push to talk.
Oh my God. It was so bad. And not to mention, like, we had just gotten back that day, right? So I had not had time. Like, we hit level 80, I think, like a day or two before going to TwitchCon, right? So I didn't have time to like look at everything that I needed to do before Naxx or, you know, I played 80 on my priest. I was still in my leveling spec. I was like, I gotta go respec. Like, oh my God, it was so bad.
You know what's funny about queues that
are you guys cooking in game, by the way? Sorry.
I am, yeah.
How was it like? How?
It's good until like
Start it.
4:15, and then it's atrocious.
Okay.
Because you have to use the daily cooking rewards to like get the recipes to level up.
How much? What's a fish feast at?
Fish feast, it costs 5, and you can only make it at 4:50.
At 450.
Yeah, at max.
That's why I'm doing it, so I can get. Like,
That's literally what I'm doing right now. Is I just made 80 fish feasts like during this podcast right now. I'm literally just fish feasting it up. But you should do it. I mean, there's no excuse, right? Like Wrath is such a raid loggable expansion. Like just get all your professions up. It's not that bad. But you know, I was noticed about queues that I actually kind of like. When I'm sitting in a queue, like if for any game, whether it's Overwatch or World of Warcraft or Grand Theft Auto, if there's a queue, it kind of like default forces me into like being an adult and like cleaning my house and doing the dishes and like, you know, throwing that batch of laundry in that it's needed. It's like 3 days. Like I need to do the laundry, you know?
Right. Like
it kind of does.
Yeah. It kind of like,
or like
it,
check
like,
out content
like,
you hadn't checked out.
Yeah. It has that effect on you of like when your mom used to limit how much games you could play. You know, okay, you can only play games for 3 hours a day after your homework's done, right? Like something like that. And it's actually kind of nice. Not saying I want queues, but I'm saying there is a silver lining to the queue system, right? Like while you're in the queue, take a shower.
What?
Brush your teeth.
Work on videos.
Work on videos.
I put the queue up my computer in my room and sat there with my wife. So the best part was my wife thought that during launch, I was just taking time off to hang out with her. Yeah, in the back of my head, I'm like this. At the computer, I'm like this. Yeah. 2 hours, right? No, 1 hour, okay. Finally, I was like, oh, babe, I'm in queue. And I had to tell her how the queue worked. Which worked out because when I was driving with cargoes and tactics from Sacramento down, I had to get in queue in Benediction, which was, I think, by 10 o'clock in the morning. It was like 4 hours.
Yeah.
And I was trying to time it to where the raid launches at 3. I need to be online by rule of guild by an hour beforehand so they know we're in game and already ready to go, no mistakes. I'm like refreshing the thing, jumping. When I finally get in, babe, don't just sit there. Do not press any buttons. You know what I mean? It was so crazy.
Dude, I work from home, right? Thank God I work from home, which might not be a permanent thing, right? But like I was in the queue just straight up working some overtime, man. I was making money in real life. Whereas normally I would have clocked out and logged into WoW like immediately, right when my shift ended, you know, like
right.
It seemed like it's been a pretty positive impact, all things considered, right? It's not too bad.
I mean, all in all, everything's been like, even questing, like everybody was scared about questing on Benediction. Like we quested the entire time, didn't have many problems at all. Everybody is pretty cool and down with the whole, like, just invite, you know, when you're both running up to a named mob, but the named mobs respawn pretty dang fast anyhow. But the other thing is the people that don't leave group. It's like, you gotta kick them. Well, you need to be doing the power play anyway, Bob. The power play, this is for all the listeners too. This is how you assert dominance on other WoW players, okay? Instead of asking for an invite, you invite them, right? That's what
and then instead of dropping group, whenever you're going to leave a group ever in WoW, instead of leaving the group, force remove them from your group. Just kick them from your group, right? That is the power play. It's kind of like the same concept.
Done. I enjoyed that. Get out of my group, though.
Yeah, get out of my group, right? I own this space, right? Another power play within WoW is social dynamic power play. When you say goodnight to your guild, type goodnight and immediately log out before anybody responds.
That's what I do. Right? I don't ever know if anybody even says goodbye.
Yep, exactly. Because there's a lot of people that say goodnight and they wait for like one response to be polite before they log out. No, power play, assert dominance, say I'm done, good night, all F4, done, get out.
I do that just because if nobody says it back to me, I don't feel bad.
Yeah,
dude,
right.
Sometimes I'm like so tired, so I stream just as long as I can. I'm like, I'm not going to raid anybody. All right, guys, I'm tired. Night. I'll see you tomorrow. Love you. Gone. You know, like
if you've ever said goodnight to Winky, who are you? I've never seen it. That's where I'm at. Boom. I'm leaving. Bam. Now, Alt F4 out. GG.
Winky's going to accidentally say goodnight and see that nobody responds one time, and he's going to be like, "Damn it."
People in my guild need to preemptively tell me goodnight before I get off. Like hey man,
you need to know when
raid's over. Good night, Winky.
Oh, that's great.
And you do it to assert dominance. Like they need to know, right, that you're in charge.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
I do it all the time. I log in. I swear to God, 3/4 of my guild don't know me, and I'm like, "Yo, I fucking love you guys. Have a good day. Hope you had a phenomenal day today." And then I just log off or log in. Yeah. I'll log in sometimes just now. I was like, "Yo, good morning. I hope you guys are great," and then leave. You may not know me, but at least I don't have a bad taste on anybody's mouth. You know what I mean?
Right.
Oh
my God.
Good stuff.
All right. Well, I think the last thing to talk about is just how things are kind of shaping up for raid damage across the different raids, and just kind of seeing where like things are. Is there any surprises for anybody?
No, I linked the one to you because the one on Wowhead is like a week old, so I just linked you to the new one.
Cool.
The current actual 95 percentile. Anything that's surprising, I'm surprised about Death Knights because I don't know why. I guess I'm the only one who's surprised about them, I guess. But yeah,
I thought they were going to be really good. I mean, they are a hero class. No,
I mean,
it's
just a good thing they're not like our original first patch, because they were Unholy was just broken. I mean, we're talking double the damage of anybody else. It was just absolutely nuts. But I'm kind of surprised about the Demo Warlock over Affy Warlock, but at the same time, it's kind of skewed, I think, because a lot of guilds are pushing gear to their Demo locks. So Demo locks across the board might be pretty over geared compared to everybody else. And then, I'm actually surprised how much closer Combat Rogue is to Assassination Rogue, because I thought Assassination was going to start off with quite a big lead, but Combat's really like just barely behind him. So
that was surprising. Can you put the image of the thing on the screen for the people in chat to look at the same time?
Well, I try not to do that for like audio listeners, but I can put this here. I might be able to put it on the screen.
Podcast,
yeah, we need to theater of the mind it so that the listeners get the idea of what we're. Because I have the same problem with F's in chat. Like, it's hard for audio listeners because we're talking about clips that are happening on the stream.
Let's see.
Right. So basically, the top 5 is Demo Warlock, Unholy Death Knight, Affliction Warlock, Assassination Rogue, and Frost Death Knight.
Yeah, I'd like to point out that I'm just holding it down and Shadow Priest right near the bottom there. You love to see it. Let's go, boys.
Or take a quick.
But we bring a hit buff to the raid. You're welcome.
It's kind of ugly, but
no, that actually worked perfectly because it shows the top like perfectly. No, that's fine. Yeah. I'm not surprised about demonology because just like you said, a majority of guilds are feeding their demos, as you should, because they are they give big buffs, right? Yeah. I think that you don't have to. A lot of people ask me if every single piece, and if you're like technically speaking, and that demo is actually trying his hardest to be a support demo, and he's not caring about his parts, he's using wild magics instead of haste potions, he's actually playing the game correctly, then you should feed him. But at the same time, you don't need I play demo in my guild. I don't say I don't want all the loot, but it's almost like I don't, right? Because a lot of people, if you give one person all that loot, it kind of puts a bad taste in other people's mouths, right? I would say like demonology, like Turning Tide, Dying Curse, and your 4-piece. Run that to your demo lock. Those are drastic pieces of gear that's 50 something spell power to your raid. Just with those pieces of gear, it's a big deal. Outside of that, all the little side pieces, share that shit. That's a better taste in mouth for everybody, right? You don't need to be greedy because you want bracers and cloak for a whopping 40 spell power, and you're giving your grade 4 spell power just to piss off this other Athlock or this other mage or whoever is absolutely blasting, right? But it makes logical sense. Go Turning Tide, Dying Curse and stuff.
Speaking of that, how do you feel about? Because I kind of feel that, like, early on here, like, how do you feel like if a warrior or a chamois or a DK rolls on like leather, like? I feel like
fine. I think it's fine if it's BIS or like a side.
Yeah, I think it's fine, but I think you should kind of just like try and get the proper armor to the proper classes first, type of deal.
I think if I can use an example, if you have a leather piece that is BIS for a warrior, or let's BIS for an enhancement shaman and BIS for like a feral or something like that. All right, it's BIS for both of them, in my opinion. It doesn't matter about the leather, about the type. It doesn't matter if it's the type of.
It screws over like leather classes, like
especially because that enhancement shaman can use the male piece as like a side grade until he gets the other one as well. But at the end of the day, it's a side piece. A good example of this would be like Dying Curse. That's a BIS caster trinket for every caster, and enhancement shamans. They want that shit right away. And there's an argument that they're prio to it too. I mean, outside of the demo, there's an argument that they're prio for it. That's a perfect example. Like, who do you give to it in that situation?
I think it's just Biss is Biss,
I'm
right? Like without the cloth type.
I'm talking less in like a speed run type of thing. Just like majority of guilds. I feel like it's a little rough. And Warriors is kind of fixed because they get more attack power quite a bit from their armor. So like they really don't want to use, other stuff. Like there really isn't.
It feels that way, Bob, but I think you just, unless you want to get, into a casual guild that's like hardcore thinking about like how many options do certain classes have, which is why we're prioing gear to certain classes, right? Because for instance, like, Biss for like a Shadow Priest is I'm knowledgeable on them because is what I'm playing, right? Very, very few tier tokens are Biss, right? Like you don't use anything, you use like gloves, right? Like it's like it, right? But other classes have way more value from their tier pieces, right? So should you just not give Shadow Priests any tier pieces and prio them like Hood of Rationality and like the Wanton Spellcaster leggings, right? Things that all the other classes are best in slot for just because they don't have those options. I don't necessarily think you should. I think this is just Biss, right?
And it depends on what kind of guild you're in as well.
Yeah. But it also bums me out when I'm doing heroics on my rogue and like a ret pally is taking like leather gear and I'm like, bro.
But that leather gear is like
plate gear.
It's good for them, but they have so many other options. I just think it's unfair that like a plate user can use everything.
I'm gonna give you the based Winky take on loot because I'm a non-loot nerd. Like I hate loot. Right?
I literally don't care about it.
The way you look at loot, in my opinion, especially if you're in a loot council guild, is you look at each piece of loot as an upgrade to your raid as a whole, not to any individual, right? And then you give that loot to the person who is most likely to stay in your raid group for the entire expansion, right? You want to give your high value players the high value loot, whether it's leather, if it's Biss and you have a guy who puts in 80 hours a week, hitting target dummies, messing with weak auras, pumping every day, cares a lot about his class, is very knowledgeable. Give it to that guy. If it's a Ret Paladin that wants leather, give it to the Ret Paladin that wants leather, right? If it's Biss. Now, if it's a side grade or like something that isn't that, it's maybe the guy wants the leather because it's going to help his parses this week, but then next week his actual Biss might drop. Screw it. No, that's not worth it, right?
I agree.
But you just can't think of loot as like individual upgrades or else you're recipe for destruction.
Sadly, a lot of people care too much about loot in the game, which I get. You're playing the game, especially if you're in a raiding guild. Like I love raiding. If we play the game to do damage, which needs gear. I get that, but people care about this is Naxx, bro. Like you see how much loot drops in Naxx?
Oh, no,
are you kidding me?
It's actually absurd how much options there are for your Biss as well. Like there's Biss,
exactly.
Right?
And Biss is like Biss. 1 to 2 DPS on some higher than like the next piece.
And the optional Biss is like there's 10 different options for all of your slots of gear. That's all optional Biss, and it's all like very, very close simming.
Yeah, it's a lot. Okay, so the Biss is your Biss if you have all those pieces, but you might have a piece that has a ton of expertise, and if you've gotten to your soft cap on certain classes, other pieces are going to be better. If you've gone over hit cap of certain classes, other stuff's going to be better. Like you have to know your soft caps, and that's where you can actually really min max. And gems help a ton to be able to get there. But that's what people don't all get. You don't have to if you're in the top 5 Biss, you're probably looking good. You just need to watch your soft caps and use gems to get you up there. And that's the big thing. There's no just line you can go where this is Biss. Period. No matter what else you have.
If you're a guild leader in a guild that's like loot council or something similar, there's items that unlock the Biss list for each class. So for Boomkins, leggings of the Wanton Spellcaster, right? From I think it's Malagos that drops those, are so big because it gives you the hit that you need to unlock upgrading out of your dog crap gear into the Biss gear for the rest of your slots, right?
And there's no pants that come close to that. There's not even there's actually gigantic pants.
Yeah, they're massive and they're good for every caster, right? So it comes down to you have all these crazy good optional pieces, right? But you can't really fully optimize until you get that one trinket, right? Or those pants, or like each class kind of has that one thing that they need to like fully optimize their class. So it's like it's a really weird time doing loot right now because it's hard to keep track of that stuff.
Well, and I bring it up, I don't really care about loot. Like I don't like lose sleep. The only thing on loot that really would upset me is hunters taking melee weapons that are good for melee and melee taking ranged weapons that are extremely good for hunters, like just to get the stat stick, you know, like though that's the only time loot ever bothers me a ton. Or back in classic WoW,
so how does
if a
Warth,
tank
you guys
would
loot
take
council?
like a thing.
Are you
We're
guys
gonna
loot
be
council
semi-loot council. We're gonna do the thing where it's like
loot list, but you decide who it goes to.
We just click what type of upgrade it is, BIS or
It's like an add-on.
you know, slight
so you're doing like
upgrade.
RC loot council.
I think so.
it.
Yeah.
And then people vote on like who gets the item.
Yeah, we haven't started it yet. We've just been doing rolls so far, but we've just asked people to like, you know, pass it if it's like a BIS for another class. Like that's how I got Calamity's Grasp, because both of our enhanced chamois are going spell hands. And so since Calamity's Grasp is main hand only and all spell weapons are main hand only, it would only work for them if they were going just straight enhance and not spell hands. So, you know, the other guy that rolled on it and rolled a 98 and I rolled a 16, he passed it to me because he knows it's my BIS and he's going spell hands. So that, you know, we do like, we're pretty tight as a guild. Like we're pretty cool passing things, you know. I was just kind of bringing it up for like everybody and like heroics and stuff like that. Like, so
yeah, it's kind of like the dream, being in a guild that has enough tight knit, you know, friends, or like it feels like a friendly guild where the classes discuss these things, no matter what loot system you're using, whether it's like a loot list system, EPGP, loot council, like all this stuff. Classes discuss like, okay, yeah, it's understandable that like, you know, rogues should get prio over warriors on this, or, you know, like this specific thing is better for spell hands than it would be for any of our casters to get first, right? But the sad thing is that the 90% of guilds just aren't like that. Like they just don't function that way, which sucks. But this is my first time doing loot council in a guild in Wrath. Yep. I hate it. I absolutely hate it.
Why?
Because I said, well, because first of all, I told my guild when I started this game, I'm doing the fun thing with Wrath. I'm trying to have fun. I didn't want to be an officer, but somehow I ended up being an officer.
Oh, so you have to be part of the loot council. I would hate that too, dude.
Yeah. Second of all, they made me loot master in the raids, and I'm like over here trying to stream our raids and have fun. And I'm like, dude, I don't want to be the loot master. I didn't want to be an officer. And then they're like, oh yeah, by the way, we're loot council and you need to participate in voting on who gets what. And I'm like, I don't know what is BIS for any other classes but my, because I do the research on my class and like warlocks, and that's like it, right? Like shadow priests and warlocks. That's what I know. I don't know what classes need this.
That's why
weird
you need class
trinket
officers.
thing. Like
that's why you need class officers, because we've talked about that. Like loot council's hard if people do it right, because they need to know. They need to know every class, and class officers help do that.
And I'm like, dude, and you guys know me. I'm like a small brain papega. I get drunk during raids. I have like, I'm trying to like stream the raid and have a good time and banter with chat, and then like, you know, pony up and try and parse on bosses. Like, and I can't do literally any of that while doing loot. Well, like I can't even participate in trash because I'm getting the loot and I'm linking it in the fucking thing, and it's just terrible. I hate it.
Yeah.
So worst case scenario, guys, I will not be, I'm going to put my foot down eventually here and just be like, nah, I'm done with this. And then if you have a problem with it, I'll go find someone else that casual raid to go raid with.
Yeah.
Cause it's just, I don't want to do this amount of work, you know?
It is being an officer is a lot of work. You should give those guys, if they're doing it good, you should give those guys a lot of respect, because it's a lot of work.
And it's a very thankless job. Shout outs to Abide. I know Abide is in our guild. He's our guild officer that literally does everything. And he gets a lot of hate on streams because he's a very, very toxic, very upfront, calling you in every name in the book because you're bad at the game, et cetera, et cetera. Like if you mess up on a mechanic, he is the guy that will flame you hard. We're talking about Abide, Crix.
Yeah, I figured.
But the dude does a lot of work, man. Like he doesn't get enough thanks for it. The amount of work that he puts into our guild and like making sure multiple raid teams are set up, understanding all of the loot, like everything. He's actually based. He's a god too. Good guy.
Best raiders, I think, in the world, bro. He gets a bad rap, but dude's pretty brain.
Yeah, he's
I feel like I attribute some of my shit for him too, because he taught me a lot about the game and in TBC when I was coming up.
He's the kind of raid leader where it's like if you're really good at the game and you never mess up, it's a perfect raid. It's a wonderful environment. But if you have one person in your raid that is learning or, you know, potentially like kind of a casual player, it's just the worst. It is the worst thing ever.
Yip kind of plays the bad cop, but he still isn't very mean. Like he tries to like, you know, get people going, and he's the one that's like, all right, guys, come on, stop chatting, you know, stop the chatter. You know, he's
stop
still
gambling.
He's still pretty nice.
I don't know how our raid leader does. Like, I don't know how Abide. He has to have like 25 sets of eyeballs. Like he will call you on the craziest. Yeah, like you get hit by a flame wall. He'll be like, "What?" In comms during the fight. Yeah, okay, Winky, you're a Papega loser piece of shit human. I cannot believe you just got hit by that flame wall. And I'm like, but I dispersed it. He's like, no, you didn't. You actually have 4 seconds on your cooldown on dispersion. I saw you cast it last. I'm like, what? How do you know this? Like, what are you doing, dude? Like, he's actually like, he is the Warcraft guy from South Park, like the dude that's just like leaned back, like gaming, right? Like that is Abide.
Oh my God,
I have no idea how he keeps track of this stuff.
He's a gamer, bro.
So
he sees everything. I'm telling you.
I did arenas with him. I will never do arenas with him again. Ever. He's crazy.
Scary.
He's very scary.
I was a little surprised about Elemental Shammy kind of keeping up.
I'm not. I thought they'd be higher than that. I feel like they'd be higher than even that. Ellie pumps early phase.
Yeah, phase 1 is always the best for Ellie Shaman in any expansion, right? Like it's just
exactly early on.
Phase 1 Ellie Shaman is so fun too.
Well, and like Shadow Priest is pretty low too. Like I had heard that they were going to be up higher. You know what I mean?
So they scale.
Yeah.
They scale hard though. They'll be up at the top towards the end. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's going to be really fun. Perfecting your craft as a Shadow Priest right now, and then once you get into like Ulduar ICC, you're going to be loving your job.
You can still blast. You can still carry the carrying. It's that Shadow Priest is rough early on, and also look how fast they're ramping. Not only do they ramp their dots, but even their AOE almost kind of ramps. Their AOE kind of is exactly, but everything's dying so fast at Naxx. You're not getting any value. Shadow Priest will go up as soon as you hit even Ulduar. Right. Yeah. And then as it gets on further ICC, you're only mind flaying type shit, and you're actually pumping really hard. They're one of the best. Besides, like you have warriors and mages. Besides those, Shadow Priest scale extremely well, which is why it's so exciting to play it. Where a lot of classes are kind of like, we're good now, and as it goes along, we stay okay and plateau and go down. This is like you're just going up every phase.
And Shadow Priest, as coming from a Warlock main to a Shadow Priest main for this expansion, has been some of the most fun I've ever done. Like Shadow Priest is genuinely a very fun class in Wrath. Mm-hmm. Literally, like you have one ability with a cast time. Like everything else is just like dot insta dots, and then it's just mind flay, and then you cast a mind blast that is literally like half a second, and then you're like, no more are the days of just sitting there spamming shadow bolts trying to get as many in a fight as you can.
The best part is the finesse that you can do with Shadow Priest and clipping and not clipping, and when you're doing what. That's what I really like about it too.
Mind Seer is really fun. It's just a cool class. You get cool mana back. You can use Dispersion. I could probably do a whole Warcraft Reloaded episode on just Shadow Priest. Like Dispersion negates raid mechanics. Like you can literally tank like any raid mechanic in the game with this, like just disperse.
What is Dispersion?
So, okay, I'll read it. I'm fishing right now. I can read it. You disperse into energy, reducing all damage taken by 90%, and you're unable to attack or cast spells. You also regenerate 6% of your mana every 1 second for 6 seconds, and you can cast it through stun, fear, silence, and it clears all snare and movement impairing effects on you, and you're immune to them while you're dispersed. So basically, it is like a bubble that instead of like fully negates damage, it negates 90% of the damage, but you also gain like over half your mana back and can get out of like roots, snares, and fears and stuff with it. And you can do it while you're silenced. It's insane.
Right.
So like even when Saf explodes, right, and you're outside, like you know, like the big orb comes down, just disperse. You just don't even go hide. Just disperse.
What's the cooldown on it?
The cooldown is 1 minute and 25 seconds.
It's not bad.
Oh yeah, you can glyph it too, so you have a better cooldown.
Wow,
Damn.
nice. Well, I mean, I'm still sitting by it. I think Ulduar geared, Combat Rogue, and Fire Mage are gonna fucking pump.
I think Combat Rogue is my favorite class to watch right now.
I love playing it
because they just came out of nowhere. Like everyone was talking about assassination. I leveled a rogue. People were saying like, "Oh, Winky, you're a dummy. Why would you ever play combat? Like assassination's so good. You need to be going daggers. You're actually trolling if you're not playing daggers, right?" But dude, it is so fun playing combat rogue, and they're actually pumping. So it's like,
oh, and they're gonna pump. It's what I played back in the day. It's like because back before I was like, you know, I was like Crix, like, you know, in like a top, you know, 1% guild, like doing everything at the top end. Like that was me, and Combat Rogue was what I played. And I'm like getting back into it. Like there's just a lot of nuance. It's like an art to play Combat Rogue, you know, like you're doing so many different things in different situations, and I freaking love it. And that's another reason I wanted to do combat like right off the bat. I want to hone my skills at it, you know, because like it's like an art, you know, and like so I want to be really good at it, playing it by the time, you know, it takes over, and I think it will take over.
Yeah, I think Wrath is the ultimate expansion.
I think out of all that, I didn't think combat would be that high.
I didn't think it would be this high this early. Like I knew it would be
higher than that.
I feel like Balanced Druid should be higher.
I feel like it should be too, but I guess their AoE is just like pushed off. I thought Feral would be higher, to be honest.
Me too, actually. Me too. This is a single target, by the way, but yeah, big me too on that one. I thought Feral would be much higher.
Made some like big changes to Feral towards the end of the game, because I remember in Naxx and in Ulduar, Feral was right up there with the rogues, like. So it's
a lot of things. The game has changed so much, and just so much more sweaty things, and people are figuring out the classes, right? So
true.
It makes sense. But and they're gaming too. I know the people playing Feral are gamers. They're really good. So
yeah, I just watched Soda Pop, and the last night did 7K DPS on Thaddeus.
I mean, our guild has a shout out to Mira, or now he's Kitty Claus, or I don't know what his name is now. He keeps changing it, but I mean, he I'm pretty sure 99 parsed almost every boss throughout, you know, and like, you know, if he's not pumping, then I know something's weird, like, you know. So it definitely feels different than I remember it in original Wrath. But we're playing with the last patch. There's a lot, like, you know, just like we talked about DKs, like if it was the first patch, Unholy DK would be like, I mean, literally double the next like class. It was
okay.
Nuts.
Here's an interesting question. Why did everyone and their mom roll Paladin? Because Ret is so cool and good, and Ret Paladin is just like at the bottom of the list.
Everybody, like, I think everybody told everybody that Rets would be like, would have to wait till ICC.
Pre-patch, people in pre-patch were like, dude, Ret is sick in Wrath. It's so good. Everyone I know played it. Like they all made a Ret Paladin.
And there's a ton of ICC, of holy paladins, a ton of paladin tanks.
Is it like is this Frostmourne? Like, is it Frostmourne unlock or something? Like, is that what the Ret Paladins want? Like, they just want ICC weapons or something?
I don't know. I really don't know. All I know is I see Ret Paladins everywhere and Death Knights everywhere.
Yeah, they are everywhere.
They're literally like the flavor of the week, and they're just dogs.
It's like crazy because they're dog shit.
Yeah, like
and they don't get much better throughout the expansion. They do a little bit, but nothing too crazy.
I've heard they pump in ICC. That's all I've heard. Like,
yeah,
but I don't know too much
yet to be seen.
Paladins, bro, they're the holy class. People love them.
We have a meme in our guild because a Lutheran was talking about heroics, and he's like, dude, every time I whisper Paladin, like, hey, can you come tank or heal this heroic? they respond and they go, I'm Rat. Like, and it's like, and he said it like that, and that's just been the meme of our guild for this entire. I'm Rat. Like, and he's like, these
So
fucking
true.
Rat pallies, they're all dog shit.
Another
Like, why?
thing.
Like, why do we have to deal with these paladins, man?
Everywhere.
So
They're everywhere.
They're way down there, right? But everybody said you go Arms Warrior at the start. Arms is literally the last thing under Frost Mage and Sub Rogue, and then Fury Warrior's just a little bit higher than him. Then Ret Pally's just a little bit higher than him. Like, poor warriors are just having a rough time at the moment.
That's first phase of any expansion, though.
But Prot Warrior is sick.
Pumping.
Yeah, and like everybody that said they could take everything, bro. They could take everything.
Mm-hmm.
And they do a ton of damage too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that's been a cool surprise. I don't know. You have anything else really to talk about?
Who's your favorite healers? Your Disc Priest, obviously.
This
Actually,
sweet.
I play a Disc Priest and they're really fun, but I actually think like if I'm putting a group together, I'm either going with Holy Paladin or Resto Shaman. I like Resto Shaman.
Listen,
Lust. They bring lust to the table. You just can't go wrong with a Resto Shaman
Power
ever.
Infusion.
Yeah, but that's one person as a caster.
Holy Paladin.
Holy Paladin's
Too
just broken.
not to take,
Yeah,
right?
they're just
and then
broken.
you need. Well, it doesn't matter what I like, but you need the priest there. Priest is too fat. Disc Priest is too big. PIs, everything else that they bring. And then you can kind of fill in with whatever. Resto Shamans are nice, but like you only need one Shaman in your raid, so you can bring. I mean, I'm not saying don't bring a Resto Shaman if you're a Resto Shaman. I'm sorry, but you have that enhancement Shaman in there most likely.
I think a lot of people agree that if you're dropping healers, like Disc Priest is the second to last healer you drop. Like you never drop.
Yeah, but you only need one.
Right?
If you bring more than one disc into your raid, you're trolling that Disc Priest into oblivion. They are so useless if you're the second Disc Priest in the raid.
You just try to like put bubbles
because you can't
everything.
bubble something that's already forbearance, right? Like you cannot play your character if there's more than one Disc
It's
Priest.
definitely
in the raid.
hard.
They're
It's
sniping each
confusing.
other.
Yeah,
That was
You
always
just
the
have one
worst.
go holy.
yeah. One has to go holy.
It was always the worst when we'd have, even in like original Naxx, right? The spider boss, where they'd be like, okay, Mel, you bubble so-and-so before the webs go out. Be like, okay. Half the time there was forbearance on them. And I was just like, are you kidding me?
Yep.
Who
It's
bubbled
literally,
them?
and it's because people, you got to play around. It's just terrible. It's terrible having two Disc Priests. Like I've done it. It's not fun.
Was it similar with having like two holy priests and TBC, right? Everybody's circle of healing. Everybody's circle of healing, the same groups, right? And it's like, oh god, my overheal is.
And don't
insane.
sleep on Holy Priest and Wrath. It's actually I prefer healing. Like I enjoy healing more on Holy Priest than I do as Disc. It's just fun. It's a fun healing class.
Mm-hmm.
They give a million buttons to press. Yeah, you get the bubble for the speed. It's a cool spec for sure. I think a lot of people are sleeping on it.
I'd just like you to change that thing we're looking at to healing, and just tell me who's at the top there.
Oh, it's for sure Disc Priest, right? With all the bubbles and stuff. Because Warcraft logs counts absorb, so it's like you have the highest HPS with the lowest overhealing guaranteed.
Right.
Because you're just bubbling the shit out of the whole raid. It actually feels so good though, because I do the same shit, Mel. My
Dick's on Resto Druid as well, because Resto Druid is all rejuve.
And it's all overhealing, right?
Yeah, exactly. And they're just getting almost like a Disc and Resto Druid snipe each other.
I talk so much shit when I'm playing my off spec on Disc, and I'm like, yeah, nice overhealing, 90% overhealing. Imagine being a paladin loser. Yeah, look at this. I have 3 times your HPS and 10% overhealing. So get wrecked.
Yeah, because you do prayer mending, right? It just bounces.
It just bing bongs around,
right?
Yeah, and just bubble the whole raid.
Yeah.
Over. Fights are so fast. You can literally put 2 waves of bubbles on the whole raid, and the fight's over.
Mm-hmm.
It's great.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I love about
pressing.
Deep Prop Warriors. I've got so many buttons. Like the revenge spec is fun just because you're doing so much damage
Pumps, bro.
so
Does
fast.
so much damage.
But it's just like 2 buttons, you know, like deep prot, you have so many buttons, and you got the AoE stun feels good when you got 12 mobs right there. And you're like grouping them, and they're like, this is where I want you to stay. Stun, get my position, you know? Like, it's just so good, man. It's so good. You do still have to tab quite a bit. If you've got some real pumpers hitting different targets. So you're tabbing around, hitting revenge on different things, and, you know, cleave, and like, but like, cause like just your what's it called? Not thunderclap, but whatever it is. Like, isn't going to pull threat if someone's not like hitting the main target that you're hitting. So just tab around. You can keep aggro on everything. It's great. Yanking aggro. Like I did a 10-man with Yip. Yip was the main tank on a pally, and I was under geared. Like I got 540 defense in that raid, like during it. So I was trying, I could yank some aggro from him here and there, but I felt a little bit worthless at that point. But now with the gear I'm getting, like, dude, you like shield slam smack so hard. I don't know why I got on a tangent there. We're not talking about Prot Warrior. But I can't wait, man, because sometimes like I'll be out quested and I'm just like level 80 mob and like shield slam, and it's like half their life. I'm like, yeah, okay. All right,
mobs feel paper thin.
Anything else to say about that? I think it's time to start closing out, unless you guys got anything else.
Chill.
Nothing. All right, well, we're going to start closing out. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter at WC Reloaded. You can also follow the Mash This Button Network at Mash Those Buttons. If you want to send us anything via email, that is wcrpodcast@gmail.com. If you'd like to join the MASH Discord and interact with us or any hosts on the MASH network of any of those podcasts, it's mash.gg/Discord. How can you help the podcast? Well, best way is tell your guild, tell your friends, just tell people about it, post it in your guild Discords, things of that nature. That's the best way. But if you want to go above and beyond, you can leave us a rating on iTunes. You can subscribe to our Patreon. Link will be in the show notes. You can get a Rested XP guide or the gold guide and use code RELOADED to save yourself 5%.
Best leveling guide in the world.
Literally the best.
You guys, let me tell you this. So,
okay.
So Bob starts doing dailies on his rogue, right? While I'm finishing up work,
I'm
and he's trying to get
unlock
the path.
The Sons of Hodir things. And I'm like, just using Questy. I'm like, God fucking damn it. I wish Rested XP had something that would just walk me through getting these unlocked. So Mel logs in.
And Mel goes, well, don't you remember? Tactics told us that you can get the daily routes with the free Rested XP. And so we figured out how to put it on there. And the whole time, so then he's doing it with this warrior and me on my priest. And he's like, fucking A. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Are you serious right now? How is this so easy? And it's just
I struggle bust through it, reading quest logs and everything, because like Questy's kind of like hit and miss in the later quests at the moment. And I'm just like, where do I go?
There's 2 guides, right? There's unlock the quest, the daily quest, and then there's the route for the daily quest, right? So it just took us through every single thing that we needed to do.
And it was
so fast. And
you know what?
It took so little time.
Here's an underutilized version of RXP that you can. There's a toggle in these settings for Lore Master, and you can click that, and they give you the optimal route to get the Lore Master of Northrend achievement, which is every quest in Northrend.
Oh, dude!
And you need that if you're a tailor and you want to craft Death Chill Cloak. So I did that. I followed the RXP guide. I turned on Lore Master. Fastest route ever. I was done in like a day. Got my Death Chill Cloak crafted, and it was all good.
I was worried about going back and doing all the quests because I was like, I want to do it, but like,
go back and do them. You can also do them if you're already 80 and you want to make extra gold, and you didn't finish like 90% of Ice Crown and Storm Peaks or whatever.
Much gold.
You can turn that option on and go do it, and you get like 6,000 gold worth of questing. It's insane. It's insane, and that'll be the optimal best speedrun routing of all those quests.
Yeah.
Dude.
And it just like, it makes it so easy. right? Like you just have to look at your little arrow.
Yeah.
And like
Roll it
some
around.
people might not like that. I was always against guides. The only reason I ever tried Rested XP is because of hardcore. And I really wanted to not die. And they had the hardcore version. I was like, fine, I'll
That's a
try
good
it.
point.
Now, like, I can't play the game without it. Like,
Yeah.
you know,
Oh, yeah.
and
It's actually bis if you're like Crix and I, and you're streaming and talking to
Follow
chat
an
and you just
Oh,
want to
yeah.
follow an arrow, right? Don't think
Right.
about what you're doing on the screen. Just talk to chat and have a good vibe and relax and follow the
definitely,
arrow.
definitely.
I would say a shout out to an add-on called Codex Lite instead of Questy. I found this from actually a Metagoblin made a video on it, and I was hesitant on it, but it replaced Questy. I took off Questy and used it, and it's like a cracked out version of Questy and has no issues, and it's amazing.
Oh wow.
Oh,
Nice.
okay.
It's amazing.
I think I
Like,
watched that too. I just forgot to
Yeah.
go check it out.
I love it.
So there's your
Yeah, I'm
add-on
dog at
thing.
questing. I literally have to have Rusted XP or we are, you know,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know,
There's
hold
there's
my
your-
hand.
I've bought like every guide now. Like,
Yep, same.
Oh yeah,
Same.
it's crazy.
and I'm so glad that they got it worked out to where they could actually lock it to your account, because I'm sure people were pirating the
Oh, it
shit
was
out of it.
rampant. It was
Oh, I
rampant.
think they found a way to
Also,
break it a couple weeks ago. It's been broken.
yeah, they did. Also,
Oh, no.
Dragonflight. If you're into Dragonflight beta, if you're going to try retail out and see what's going on, there will be arrested XP for Dragonflight, which is the fastest way level on that as well.
Yeah, that's
So if
There's
you
some
buy it
guides up
now,
there too,
it's not a one-time thing. Like you're going to get more use out of it.
Oh,
It
yeah,
will
and
always
if
be
you buy
updated
a
as well for the
guide-
current version of WoW.
Yeah, if you buy a guide, they update their guide and keep making it better. And like, for instance, when they came out with Joyous Journeys, they rushed to like fix the guide that you
Mhm.
currently owned to be compatible with that, you know. So
Well,
it's
now there's a
pretty nice.
slider. Now there's an XP slider in the settings, and depending on if Blizzard ever does an XP buff again, you just turn the slider to whatever the XP buff is, or if you have heirloom
Oh,
gear,
that's cool.
you turn the
I
slider
didn't
to
notice
however
that.
much percent you have, and then it'll adjust the route
Crazy.
I also
based on how much heirloom gear you're wearing. It's actually also there's another setting. This is I say this because I'm in a guild with everyone that created the add-on, right? So I have all of this crazy intel,
Inside
right?
track.
So you can, if you're an heirloom Andy, you can use the slider. Also, though, they've got if you have Northrend flying for your alts, and if it's an epic versus a normal flyer, you can change the movement rate of your character, because when you're leveling, running around the world is 90% of the time you spend leveling.
Mhm.
You can change the movement rate of your character and click the epic flying, Northrend flying buttons, and it will automatically
I didn't
adjust
know
the
that.
route to remove quests that you no longer need to do to level the fastest, because you now have another route unlocked, because you could get from point
Oh,
A to
wow.
point B without flight pass and faster.
I also
That's
like
crazy.
the timer for flight paths, so you can be like, oh, this is a 3-minute one. I got time to run grab this. And then they have a
Yep.
timer for
Like role play.
yeah, the RP scenes
Yep.
and stuff. Yeah, I could talk about it all day. I had such a
Yep.
kick out of getting to talk to them straight up about it.
Oh yeah.
Oh, but yeah,
Yeah.
that's it. Crix, where can we find you?
Twitch. I mean, Crix vibes everywhere.
And that's with a
Twitch,
C, right?
YouTube, Twitter. Yeah. Crix, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, all that. Love it.
Nice,
Vibing.
nice.
I stream 2 Warlocks, a Shadow Priest, and a Boomy in the Guild Fusion, and my own guild on another server, and then a Horde Warlock. I'm just blasting, bro.
But
Hell
you
yeah,
and
pretty
Sarth
nice.
Videos
also
done after this
do-
weekend. I'll be able to play. Yep, me and Sarth have a podcast that's more of like a tutorials, I would say. I don't know. Less on the news and more of like
Deep
learning,
dives.
teaching people how to play the game more. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Guide,
We'll
guides
get
and
guests
stuff.
on like the Wowhead writer, and then like the big Discord or someone, and we'll go over the big deep dives like they said on the class. Love it. It's
Huge
been a lot of
deep
fun.
dives. They're long, but I
Awesome.
mean, like, put them
Yeah.
on, and like they're the type
The
of guide you're
timestamp,
going to
too.
want to listen to multiple times, because you'll listen to it a month later and be like, oh damn, yeah, they mentioned, because it's just so much information. I would recommend multiple listens because it's really good.
For sure.
A lot of fun. Yeah.
And Mel, where can we find you?
You can find me in game on Mel Arena, or you can find me on Bob's stream.
True.
There you go.
That's usually where I am.
True.
I don't use Twitter very often. I have to stop saying it.
Well, I mean, you used it a little bit at TwitchCon, which was funny.
Yeah, that's fair.
Got the best picture of Crix ever.
True.
Oh yeah, dude, that was so much fun. That trip would not have been shit without you guys.
It's
I'm
so true.
serious, bro. I'm so serious. I mean that all my fucking heart, bro. That was crazy. I can't believe how much fun it was.
Amazing.
I mean, I can believe how much fun it was. This is way more fun than I thought it was going to be, man. Just exponentially more fun than I was, and it was because of you guys.
Mm-hmm.
It's because of everybody. Everybody was so good.
Oh,
Everybody was so great. But Wiki, where can we find you?
Twitch.tv/Winky, WINKY. Kind of like the Teletubby. I stream Classic WoW. I do some hardcore every now and then, some hardcore runs on Classic WoW.
Names.
I play a Shadow Priest and 3 Warlocks. So I've got a lot of Warlock content and a lot of Shadow Priest stuff, anything that casts shadow damage. And then I also play on Grand Theft Auto Roleplay as a musician. So I produce music for the No Pixel server on Grand Theft Auto.
Very nice.
Nice. Oh, and you can find me on Twitter at Blazin_Bob. That's BLAZZIN_BOB. You can find me on Twitch at BlazinBob with no underscore. And yeah, all right. We're going to get out of here, guys. See you later.
Yo, love you guys.
Till next
Bye.
week.
Bye.
Thank you very much for checking out Warcraft Reloaded podcast. Make sure to like and subscribe and hit that bell so you don't miss any future content.